If you were to travel back to the great Ming dynasty and become Emperor Chongjun, Zhu Yujian, facing a dead end with only 7 days before the empire falls, would you choose to reenact the tragedy of Mount Mei? Or wield the emperor's sword to carve a path through the blood and snow? The rebels have besieged the city. Are you afraid? We are not. May our sun, moon, and rivers endure forever. May the Ming dynasty stand eternal. Kill. Reserve units, hurl the heaven-shattering mines first, then unleash the little 10,000 foe canisters. Arg. On the 18th day of the 3rd month, 1644, the city fell. Under that crooked pagoda tree on Mount Mei, he untied his silken sash, and took his life for the nation. The reign of the Great Ming, spanning 276 years, finally came to its definitive end. This was the conclusion long frozen in the history books. Originally, the name Zhu Yujian would forever be bound to that pagoda tree as the most tragic sovereign in history. However, within the rifts of time and space, fate underwent a bizarre displacement. On the very eve of the empire's collapse, a soul named Zhu Lian from 400 years in the future, carrying a godlike perspective of this humiliating history, violently crashed into this very remnant body of an emperor marching toward destruction. At this moment, the lanterns in the Qing Palace flicker once more, though the silhouette in the mirror remains unchanged. The eyes no longer belong to Zhu Yujian. Instead, they hold Zhu Lian's resolve, having seen through the next 300 years. Inside the Forbidden City, Zhu Lian stares blankly at the reflection in the mirror, lost in a daze. He essentially transmigrated with a noose already around his neck. From the moment memories flooded in like a deluge, this body has made him feel a bone-chilling cold and a deep sense of unease. The heavens must be playing a joke on me. I finally get to transmigrate, and it just had to be as Chongjun. Zhu Lian forced a bitter smile in his heart. Who was Chongjun? The doomed ruler of the Ming dynasty. The textbook example of a king who lost his country the harder he tried. Stubborn, capricious, and paranoid, coupled with a mediocre grasp of imperial statecraft, he personally delivered the Great Ming to the crematorium. What is even more desperate is, it is already the 10th day of the 3rd month, the 17th year of Chongjun. In 7 days, the outer city falls. In 9 days, the inner palace is breached. The emperor takes his own life. The history of the next 300 years is not just the shame of the Zhu family, but a catastrophe for the entire Chinese nation. The Jurchens march south. The 3 massacres of Jiading, 10 days in Yangzhou, millions of corpses, blood flowing for 10,000 miles. This is not a transmigration trip. It is a VIP pass to a disaster experience. Should I just end it all right now? A bad life is better than a good death, they say. But if he does not take his life, what else can he do? By now, the Great Ming is already on its deathbed. Natural disasters and human follies are intertwined. Zhu Yujian could not change fate in 17 years. What makes Zhu Lian think he can? Carrying this heavy question, Zhu Lian closed his eyes and sank into deep thought. He knew not how much time had passed before a flurry of hurried footsteps interrupted him. It was Wang Chenggen, the director of the ceremonial post, the loyal servant who, in history, stayed with Chongjun until the very end. With a heavy thud, he knelt on the ground. Your Majesty, a catastrophe has occurred. The one who arrived was indeed Wang Chenggen, the eunuch you trust above all others, the only man in history who would choose to die by your side. You take a deep breath, hiding that lethal noose behind your back. You feign a calm composure. Do not panic. Speak slowly. There are 3 matters, Your Majesty. First, an urgent report from Xuanfu, traveling 600 li a day. The rebels have breached the walls. They are marching straight for the capital. General Wang Chengxi has defected to the enemy. What? No. Your heart sinks heavily. With Xuanfu lost, the gateway to the capital stands wide open. Seeing your expressionless face, Wang Chenggen continues his report. Second, Tang Tong, the Earl of Dingxi, has arrived by imperial decree. He awaits your orders outside. Third, Feng Yuanwang, the governor of Tianjin, has sent a secret letter. You snatch it from his hands. Indeed, it matches the records of history perfectly. Your servant has prepared 120 sea vessels and 8,000 elite troops. We await your majesty to migrate south at any moment. You look at your most loyal eunuch and slowly speak, moving the court to Yingtian Mansion. What is your honest opinion? Your servant does not dare to speak on such matters. I pardon you of all guilt. Speak. It is the best possible strategy. And the reasoning, Your Majesty, the three great camps of the capital claim 80,000 men on paper, but subtracting the ghost soldiers used for embezzling funds, and those deployed elsewhere, the actual combat-ready force we have left is less than 30,000. Furthermore, they are mostly the old, the weak, and the disabled. The capital simply cannot be held. Rather than making a futile stand in Beijing, it is better to retreat to Yingtian Mansion. As long as Your Majesty remains, our great Ming shall endure. Your servant takes a great risk in saying this, but I beg Your Majesty to follow the plan and move south. I cannot leave. Wang Chengen is so desperate he is on the verge of tears. You are well aware of his absolute loyalty, but you know even better that moving the capital is a path that leads straight to a dead end. The capital is infested with Li Zicheng's spies. The moment the news of a southern retreat leaks, the city will descend into chaos without a single shot fired. By then, the enemy only needs to dispatch a small elite cavalry to cut off my every line of retreat. Then, there will be no way to escape, and no way to defend. Even if I were to reach Yingtian Mansion by some miracle, Beijing would have been handed to the rebels on a silver platter. And what would become of Wu Sangui? To his north are the Jurchens. To his south are the rebels. Other than total surrender, would he have any other choice? The Guanding Iron Cavalry is the last elite force of our great Ming. I will not surrender them to anyone. The reason you explain this much is to mold him into your true right-hand man. Afterward, you close your eyes, falling back into deep thought. This entire situation is nothing but a stalemate. The Jurchens watch like tigers from the northeast. The Mongols are restless in the north. Rebels are rising throughout the provinces, and the land is covered in the starving dead. The court is paralyzed by endless factional strife, and the national treasury is bone dry. In this damned game of chess, how exactly do I turn the tables? Suddenly, you snap your eyes open. No. History has already begun to change. You suddenly recalled. Enzi, it suddenly occurred to you. In the original history, Emperor Chongjun never. Correct. In the original timeline, Emperor Chongjun never received this secret letter about relocating to the south. He never received this secret message regarding the southern migration. Heaven has granted you a mere 7 days to alter the fate of both Emperor Chongjun and the Great Ming. It is precisely because of this letter that you have gained a slim glimmer of hope out of thin air. You have only 7 days. In 7 days, Li Zicheng will breach the outer city. By then, even the gods themselves could not turn the tide of this catastrophe. After deep contemplation, he slowly opened his eyes. Since I have transmigrated into this world, there must be a way to change the course of history. Wang Chengen, take my orders. Wang Chengen signaled the nearby young eunuch with a sharp glance. The young eunuch hurriedly brought in a tray from outside. Upon it lay the 4 treasures of the study. Yan Yingyuan, a native of Tongzhou, Jili, formerly the jail warden of Zhangyan County. Chen Mingyu, a native of Shangyu, Zhejiang, the current jail warden of Zhangyan. Feng Haodan, a native of Jintai, Nanjili, the current instructor of Zhangyan. Issue an urgent command at top speed. Order them to rush to the capital with the utmost haste. Wang Chengen looked at those unfamiliar names, such lowly official ranks. His mind went blank for a moment. Your Majesty, who are these 3 men? Your servant has no recollection of them whatsoever. Do not ask what you should not know. You will understand when the time comes. Wang Chengen turned pale with fright. He knelt on the floor, kowtowing to beg for mercy. Your Majesty, please forgive me. Your servant will arrange it immediately. Wait. Regarding Yan Yingyuan, he is the only one who needs to come. The second matter. Reply to Feng Yuanwang. I shall meet him in Tongzhou by noon tomorrow at the latest. The third matter. Summon Wu Mengming, Li Ruolian, and Wang Zhixing. I have instructions for them. As you command. As Wang Chengen walked out, he pondered in his heart. Wu Mengming is the commander of the Jinyue. Li Ruolian is the vice commander. They are the top 2 figures of the Emperor's Guard. Wang Zhixing is the director of the Dongchang. Why is His Majesty seeking them? Could it be that His Majesty wants to off someone? After a brief pause, Wang Chenggen quickened his pace. Taking them out is a good thing. Those officials who betray the crown and the country all deserve to be finished. But the rebels are almost here. Is it wise to purge officials at a time like this? Thinking this, he slapped himself across the face. His Majesty must have his reasons for doing so. Why should I worry about such things? Count Dingxi Tang Tong and Du Jiji request an audience outside. Shall your Majesty receive them? Emperor Changzhen slapped his own forehead. He had actually forgotten about this matter. Let them enter together. Yes, your Majesty. Tang Tong had already been titled Count Dingxi by Changzhen. He was seen wearing a crimson qilin robe, standing outside, looking around cautiously. When he saw Wu Mengming and Wang Zhixing, his heart skipped a beat. Why are the Jinyue and the Dongchang here as well? What are they planning? In that brief instant, he mentally reviewed every misdeed he had ever committed in his life. Could it be that the Emperor intends to strike against me? He lowered his head and followed behind Wang Chenggen. Walking into the main hall, he performed the formal prostration. Long live my Emperor, long live for 10,000 years. You may rise. Count of Dingxi, what brings you here? Since things had come to this, Tang Tong had no choice but to speak the truth. Your Majesty, your servant has come here today. First, to collect the military funds. Second, to give thanks for the imperial grace. His 8,000 men had not been paid for 5 months. As an army tasked with protecting the throne, they had to be given something to keep going. Otherwise, a mutiny could easily break out. Changzhen smiled faintly. How much do you want? Tang Tong furrowed his brows, his mind racing at high speed. He knew the court had no money left. Since there was none, what did Changzhen mean by that question? Was it a warning? A warning not to ask the court for silver. But if they did not get paid, what would those 8,000 men eat? What would they drink? After a long deliberation, Tang Dong suppressed the fear in his heart and spoke. Your servant requires 10,000 taels of silver. Before Changzhen could even respond, the imperial supervisor of the army, Du Jiji, shouted in anger. General Tang. Oh wait, that is not right. I mean, Lord Count of Dingxi, the court is currently short on grain and funds. Where are we supposed to find 10,000 taels of silver? Eunuch Du, you have never led troops, so you do not know the hardships of command. The 10,000 taels I requested is already the bare minimum. Tang Ong looked at Du Jiji with gritted teeth, feeling immense resentment. He could not understand why this emperor of the Ming dynasty distrusted his military generals so much. Changzhen watched Du Jiji's clownish performance and sneered inwardly. In history, it was this very wretch who, just as Tang Tong was preparing for battle, sent men to open the city gates and surrender. Damnable. Du Jiji, well said. I have a question. You must answer truthfully. I am saying, what if the Count of Dingxi conspired with the rebel Li? What would you do then? Changzhen's words sent an instant chill down Tang Tong's spine. While he was fighting bravely at the front, the emperor suspected him of colluding with the rebels. Du Jiji glanced sideways at Tang Tong, then spoke in a low, sinister tone. Your servant would use the sharp sword bestowed by your Majesty to take off his head. Count of Dingxi, there is no need to cry out. I said, it was only a hypothetical. Do not take it to heart. Zhu Yujin waved his hand as a signal. Tang Tong, do not be alarmed. He pointed his finger directly at Du Jiji and asked sternly, what if you were the one conspiring with the rebels? Count of Dingxi, what should be done then? Your servant is loyal to your Majesty, loyal to the Ming dynasty. I am asking, what if? If I were to conspire with the rebels, then I would ask the Count of Dingxi to take my head. Good. Ha ha ha. Changzhen clapped his hands in approval. Since you have admitted to being the Marquis of Dingxi, why do not you act now? Tang Tong was stunned. Du Jiji was also stunned. He thought Emperor Changzhen was joking. Your Majesty, you jest. I am a man of little courage. I cannot bear such jests. Emperor Changzhen's face was devoid of expression. He stared at Du Jiji. He spoke in a stern voice. Come and see for yourself. Your correspondence with the rebels has long been intercepted by Wang Chenggen. This is the irrefutable proof of your secret dealings with the rebels. Du Jiji's face turned ashen as he prostrated on the floor, kowtowing relentlessly. Your Majesty, I have been wronged. Someone must have framed me. Eunuch Wang, you were the one who brought me up through the ranks. I would never betray His Majesty. I implore Eunuch Wang to see the truth. Wang Chenggen frowned. The emperor had no proof. That was a secret letter written by Feng Shuan. Du Jiji was merely trying to placate Tang Tong. After understanding these points, Wang Chenggen scoffed at Du Jiji. The evidence of your collusion with the rebel Lu is conclusive. What more is there to argue? Guards, seize Du Jiji. Take him out and await his sentence. Du Jiji was utterly panicked. He struggled and looked around. His gaze fell upon Tang Tong. Lord Tang, please plead with His Majesty for me. I truly did not collude with the rebels. Tang Dong snorted coldly, pretending not to have heard. Emperor Chongjun raised a hand, signaling the two Jinyue to halt. He looked at Tang Dong with a faint smile. Marquis of Dingxi, according to the laws of the Great Ming Dynasty, for colluding with rebels, what should be the punishment? Tang Tong's heart skipped a beat. He instantly understood Emperor Chongzhen's intention. He should be dealt with according to military law. Indeed, as an army supervisor, Du Jiji knowingly broke the law. Since his crime has been confirmed, let him be dealt with according to military law. Tang Dong could not help but look up at Emperor Chongjun. He could not figure out what this Ming emperor was playing at. Tang Tong, Du Jiji has colluded with the rebel Lu. Why have you not executed him for me yet? Tang Tong had no time to think further. He knelt and kowtowed with utmost reverence. I obey your Majesty's command. After speaking, he stood up, grabbed the man by the collar, and in the moment he turned, he could no longer conceal the sheer ecstasy in his heart. With a grim smile, he dragged Du Jiji outside the main hall for execution. Your Majesty, I have been wronged. I am innocent. A moment later, Du Jiji's pleas for mercy came to an abrupt end. Tang Dong returned to the main hall, thoroughly satisfied. His previous dissatisfaction with Emperor Chongjun vanished into thin air, along with Du Jiji's life. I have carried out the sentence. Du Jiji is dead. I wonder whom your Majesty will appoint as the new army supervisor. There will be no army supervisor. Your Majesty, I do not understand. The Marquis of Dingxi is a pillar of the Great Ming Dynasty. I trust you. I have faith in you. Therefore, there is no need for Wang Chenggen to supervise the army. He shall go to the inner treasury, grant the Count of Dingxi 20,000 taels of silver. As for the rest, I will find a way to make up the difference. Tang Tong's face was covered in tears. The previous grievances and the lack of trust he felt vanished completely in this very instant. Your Majesty, I shall defend Juyong Pass with my life. I will not let the rebels advance a single step. No, you cannot hold it indefinitely. Li Zicheng has split his forces into two routes to attack the capital. His general Lu Fangliang has already occupied Baoding Prefecture. Once Li Zicheng is obstructed, Lu Fangliang will surely provide reinforcements. By then, Juyong Pass will be caught in a pincer attack from both sides. The Count of Dingxi would be in grave danger. I am not afraid. The court is currently in dire need of capable men. I cannot allow you to fall into a death trap. When you go to Juyong Pass, you only need to hold it for a few days. Withdraw to the capital before Lu Fanglang's army completes the encirclement. Understood. I shall not fail your Majesty's grace. Wu Mengming and Wang Zhixing watched Tang Tong's receding figure. They felt a slight sense of unease in their hearts. After reassuring Tang Tong, Chongjun sat upon the dragon throne. He contemplated the next step of his plan. Logically, one should counter soldiers with generals, and block water with earth. The problem is, he now has neither. He needs generals but has no generals to spare. Influenced by the war gods of the late Ming, the emperors of the late Ming lacked direct military authority. The military camps consist of 26 guards. 21 of them are under the control of the Ministry of War. The only ones he can mobilize independently are the Jinyue and the Tengshang Four Guards. The Tengshang Four Guards were later reorganized into the Yangwei Garrison. They are the elite of the elite. Unfortunately, Huang Dagong was sent to pursue Zhang Xianzhang. He is currently fighting thousands of miles away. Distant water cannot quench a nearby fire. Even if he had the authority, there is no one left to use in the capital. Since this is the case, he can only go all in on a final gamble. How many Jinyue and Eastern Depot members are in the capital? To answer your Majesty, there are over 3,000 Jinyue. Your Majesty, the Eastern Depot has 2,000 men. Chongjun calculated silently in his mind. The three great camps, the Jinyue, the Eastern Depot, and the Imperial Guard. Adding them all up, there are approximately 38,000 usable men in the capital. Excluding the necessary guards for the Forbidden City. Only 36,000 can actually be deployed. Zhu Yujian walked toward the map. Li Zicheng's Grand Army claims to be 500,000 strong. In reality, it is only about 200,000. After leaving Shaanxi, they need to station troops along the way to attack Beijing. There are about 120,000 men south of the river, though the numbers are not as overwhelming as imagined. Half of them are the elites he brought out personally, a ratio of 4 to 1. The old, weak, and sick against their elite. It is a lost cause. Of course, this is just wishful thinking on his part. To successfully defend Beijing, the most critical factor remains. Moreover, in the late Ming dynasty, the Ming army's combat effectiveness was not actually low. The Ming army is not full, while the Manchus are hungry. The Manchus are invincible. Where are the Manchus now? In Liaodong with Hong Taiji. Wu Mengming and Wang Zhixing glanced at each other. They were too embarrassed to speak up. I fear laying bare the great Ming dynasty's true state would bring deep shame upon the emperor. Your Majesty, the Jinyue are 5 months in arrears. Changzhen's expression darkened instantly. The Eastern Depot is also owed 5 months of pay. Changzhen let out a heavy sigh. He wanted to lash out, but knew not at whom to direct his fury. From what he knew, the Jinyue and Eastern Depot in the capital were actually the least neglected. Calculate it yourselves. To settle all back pay, and grant each man an extra 5 taels for defending the city. What is the total required? A moment later, the two reported the final figure to Changzhen. Your Majesty, the Jinyue and Eastern Depot together require 75,000 taels of silver. Do you know how much the 3 great camps are owed? Wu Mengming, speak the truth. Do not hold back. It has come to this. There is no point in sugarcoating the situation. The 3 great camps are essentially 8 months behind on pay. Changzhen did the math in his head. The 3 great camps, the 5 cities, the Imperial Horse Guards, the Jinyue, the Eastern Depot, and Tang Tong's forces. The total deficit for back pay is over 900,000 taels. And that is not even counting Wu Sangui. I must prepare at least 1.5 million taels of silver. A portion as rewards, and the rest for recruitment. Wang Chenggen, bring me the ledgers from the Ministry of Revenue and the Inner Treasury. Wang Chenggen dared not delay. He personally handed the accounts to Changzhen. As he flipped to the final page, a sudden, sinister fire erupted in Changzhen's heart. With a loud slam, he hurled the ledger to the floor. He sat upon the dragon throne, teeth gnashing in rage. The great Ming dynasty, in all its supposed glory, has only 3,000 taels of gold left in the national treasury, and a mere 10,000 taels of silver. Converted to silver, the total is barely 40,000 taels. In this very city of Beijing, if I raided the home of any random high official, the seized wealth would exceed 40,000 taels. He knew the treasury had long been empty. At least the Tianqi emperor had Wei Zhongxian. That man knew how to squeeze out the coin. But after Changzhen took the throne, he had Wei Zhongxian executed. How muddled I was. Be it Wei Zhongxian, or the Donglin faction, no matter who holds power, all they do is talk. Idle talk in times of peace is one thing, but now the treasury is hollowed out. The dynasty hangs by a thread, and yet they still dare to spout nothing but rhetoric. Search. I recall Commander Wu's son has his wedding the day after tomorrow. Wang Chenggen, prepare a congratulatory gift on my behalf. Wu Mengming was stunned. Your Majesty, your servant is unworthy of such honor. The affairs of state are so overwhelming. Yet the emperor still remembers his son's wedding. You are my right-hand man. Do not decline. Wang Zhixing, you lead the Eastern Depot. It is time you disciplined those eunuchs under your command. Wang Zhixing looked utterly bewildered. He first kowtowed deeply. Then he asked cautiously, Your Majesty, your servant is terrified. Terrified. Is that all you feel? Du Xuan was one of your protégés. The official reports say he died for his country. But from what I know, Du Xuan and Wang Chengxun have defected to the enemy. Upon hearing this, Wang Zhixing's face turned pale with shock. The news revealed in the emperor's words was staggering. Du Xuan has defected to the enemy. His Majesty must have obtained this news through other channels. They failed to uncover the truth. Yet the emperor found out everything. It sounds terrifying. Could the emperor have another secret intelligence organization? It is because I, your servant, have failed in my duties. I beg your Majesty's mercy. Seeing Changzhen remain silent, Wang Zhixing began to panic. I have been derelict in my duty. I beg your Majesty to spare my life. Changzhen stared coldly at Wang Zhixing without saying a word, then gave a slight nod. Since you are aware of your faults, at the morning court later, I will give you a chance to atone for your crimes with service. You are all my trusted officials. Correct your mistakes if you have made them, and strive even harder if you have not. The rebels will soon be upon us. You must work together with one heart to help me defend against the enemy. We obey your command, your Majesty. Only Li Rulian seemed crestfallen while kowtowing. Changzhen observed the expressions of all three men. The plan in his heart began to take shape. Wu Mengming is a relatively upright man. Wang Zhixing is capable and dares to act, but his Achilles heel is glaringly obvious. He loves wealth as much as his own life. Li Ruolian is a man of absolute loyalty. He does not care for money. He is someone who can be trusted. In that case, I will keep Li Ruolian in the shadows to handle the dirty work. Wu Mengming, during the court session, shortly, the dialogue between me and the officials. You are to record every single word without fail. If there are any omissions, you will be held accountable. I obey your decree, Your Majesty. Before long, Wang Chengen entered the hall and said respectfully, Your Majesty, the 20,000 taels of silver have been delivered to Tang Tong, the Earl of Dingxi. Li Banghua, the left censor-in-chief, awaits your decree outside. Send him in. While performing the ritual of kowtow, Li Banghua scanned the great hall with his eyes. When he saw Wu Mengming and Wang Zhixing there, his heart skipped a beat. This is bad. The head of the Jinyue and the head of the Dongchang appearing together can only mean trouble. I, Li Banghua, have come to seek an audience by your decree. Li Banghua, someone has accused you of forming a faction for private gain, taking bribes, perverting the law, and deceiving your sovereign. What do you have to say for yourself? Does your majesty have any evidence? Evidence. Your annual salary is barely over 100 taels. Why do not you tell me? Where did your 10,000 tael estate come from? Since the evidence is ironclad, then I beg your majesty to punish me. You are the left censor-in-chief. According to the laws of the Ming dynasty, what should be the sentence? According to the Ming laws, those who embezzle more than 60 taels shall be flayed, and their skins stuffed with straw. Changzhen let out a long sigh. You did not. Li Banghua was slightly dazed. I know. At the end of the day, it was my fault. I allowed the officials of the Ming dynasty to go hungry and cold. What is done is done. Let the past be the past. I hope that in the future, you will hold yourself and others to the highest standards. I shall do my utmost for the great Ming. I thank your majesty for your boundless grace. I am willing to serve your majesty with the loyalty of a dog or a horse. Changzhen intended to grant Li Banghua a position of great importance, but before doing so, he needed to give him a sharp warning. Wang Chengen. Show Feng Yuanwang's letter to Censor Li. Censor Li, what is your take on this? After Li Banghua finished reading, he furrowed his brows and remained in deep silent thought. Fortune lies in this. I believe this is but a mediocre strategy. Oh. Then, what would be the superior strategy? I believe your majesty should hold firm and defend the capital, while sending the crown prince to Nanjing to oversee the state. Should the capital fall, the great Ming would still retain half of its realm. Everyone in the great hall cursed him under their breath simultaneously. Li Banghua continued, the capital is the very root of our dynasty. It must not be abandoned. If your majesty flees the city now, the last elite forces of the Ming will be handed over to the enemy. Conversely, the rebel tides cannot endure for long. The Jianzhou Jurchens in Liaodong are the true mortal threat to the great Ming. The Jurchens dare not drive deep into our lands yet, but if the capital is lost, and the Jurchens march their armies south, then the great Ming will be in terminal peril. Changzhen raised an eyebrow, unable to help but see Li Banghua in a new, respectful light. What he said was brilliant. It aligns perfectly with the course of history. Censor Li truly possesses extraordinary insight. I intend to appoint you to the cabinet as the Grand Secretary. What say you? The Emperor wants me to be the Grand Secretary. Changzhen has cycled through 19 Grand Secretaries. The power is immense, but the risks are sky-high. One must also be the Emperor's scapegoat. Your Majesty, cabinet affairs are governed by rigid protocols. For me to be appointed directly as Grand Secretary would be highly irregular. My word is the protocol. Li Banghua, are you afraid? I am not afraid. I seek very little in this life. Either to reach the pinnacle of officialdom, or to leave my name in the history books. Today, your majesty appoints me as Grand Secretary. My wish to reach the pinnacle is already fulfilled. He who serves your majesty will surely have his name carved in history. I care not for the nature of my reputation, be it good or ill. Only the mediocre are forgotten by history. Changzhen stood his ground, silently observing this veteran official who was nearly 70 years old. Li Banghua is exactly the man I am looking for. Changzhen turned around, his voice becoming solemn. I need a powerful minister. A powerful minister who can suppress the entire imperial court. I will grant him absolute heaven-defying power. Court officials, eunuchs, or nobles, I shall not interfere with how he handles them. As long as he can secure the silver and does not cross the line, I will not intervene. As long as I live, I will guarantee his glory and wealth. But if I am gone, that person's end might be more tragic than even Yansong's. Then his name shall remain in the annals of history. My Grand Secretary might be remembered with honor. Or he might be infamous for 10,000 years. Can you endure that? Wang Chengen looked at Changjun in utter disbelief. Li Banghua lifted his head, his eyes burning with an intense, sharp brilliance. He knelt and kowtowed with the utmost solemnity. Please, your majesty, set your heart at ease. I have no desire to be another Yan Song. I only wish to be like Zhang Juzheng. Very well. Censor Li, you may withdraw for now. I must attend the imperial court session. The purpose of empowering Li Banghua is to reignite the factional strife, to shift the conflict between the emperor and his subjects into a conflict between rival factions. He intends to use Li Banghua's hand to purge them. But as for people, where will they come from? In the short term, rely on confiscating assets. In the long term, rely on taxation. Those civil officials consumed by infighting. Those corrupt ministers of the court. Those nobles whose wealth rivals the nation's. And those merchants who conspire with the enemy. Changjun composed his thoughts and gave his instructions. Wang Chengen, summon all officials to the Great Hall for the imperial session. Wang Chengen struck the Jingyang bell. The crisp, deafening toll echoed for over 10 miles, resonating throughout the entire city. Upon the freezing city walls, the soldiers of the three great camps and the eunuchs were shivering violently in the bitter wind. When the bell rang out, only a few low-ranking officers cast a glance toward the imperial city. They immediately hid behind the battlements, blowing hot breath onto their frozen hands. Weapons lay scattered across the ground. The steamed buns in their shirts were frozen rock solid, too hard to bite, yet too precious to throw away, lacking pay and short on rations, let alone decent food. They could not even afford charcoal for warmth. It was cold. The spring of the 17th year of Changjun was far too cold. Inside the Hall of Supreme Harmony, the civil and military officials had long since gathered. Changjun took a deep breath and slowly walked inside. The officials kowtowed in unison. Changjun stood upon the dais, scanning the crowd of ministers. Half of the ministers of the 6 boards were bad seeds. Among the vice ministers, there was no shortage of rot either. After surveying the room, his gaze fell upon the Grand Secretary of the Cabinet, Wei Zhaoda. This fellow is a dead man walking. Every glance at him is one less for the road. Wei Zhaoda was dressed in his crimson court robes, wearing his black gauze hat. After glancing around himself, he stepped forward, cupped his hands and said, Your Majesty, according to the frontier reports, yesterday the rebels broke through Xuanfu and are heading straight for the capital. Changjun nodded and asked in return, Do you have a strategy to repel the enemy? Wei Zhaoda's mind raced, spinning rapidly. He possessed no true ability. He was merely a man of silver-tongued rhetoric. Seeing Changjun's inquiry, he delivered a pre-prepared answer. If the soldiers and citizens of the capital unite as one, we can surely withstand the rebel tide. And how shall we unite the soldiers and citizens? With heavy rewards of gold, of course. If the court actually had money, the rebel Lu Zicheng would not have made it from Shaanxi all the way to Xuanfu. All the way to Xuanfu. Is this not pure, unadulterated nonsense? Changjun shifted his gaze toward Li Banghua. That letter must be voiced by Li Banghua, and the responsibility must be borne by him. A sovereign cannot propose a controversial view in court. He can only choose to support the one who proposes it. As they say, a ruler only takes multiple choice tests. He does not fill in the blanks. If things go wrong, the blame can be shifted to the ministers, claiming the emperor was merely misled by his subordinates. Do my ministers have any solution? The historical Changjun knew absolutely nothing of this kingcraft. In truth, he could not be entirely blamed. No one could have predicted that the throne would fall upon his shoulders. Upon receiving the signal from Emperor Changjun, Li Banghua looked up and cast a cold, disdainful glance at Wei Zhaoda. He stepped forward and said, Your Majesty, the rebels' momentum is ferocious. To preserve the Ming dynasty, it is best to send the crown prince to Yingqian Mansion. Let Prince Yang, Prince Ding, the imperial consorts, and a few palace officials accompany him. The rest of us shall remain with your Majesty to defend the capital and await the arrival of the loyalist armies. What do my ministers think of this? Although Emperor Changjun had already made up his mind, he could not grant immediate approval in front of the court. Protocol dictated that the ministers must be involved in the process. The court officials were divided into 3 factions, led by the censor-in-chief Li Banghua. Nearly 20% of the officials submitted a joint petition. They hoped the emperor would hold the capital, while the crown prince moved to Yingqian Mansion. Should Beijing fall by some tragic turn of fate, the Ming dynasty would still retain half its realm. The faction led by Li Mingrui argued that the crown prince was too young and could not bear such a heavy responsibility in Yingqian Mansion. They suggested the emperor go in person, abandoning the city of Beijing. Yet another faction followed. The words of Guang Xiang. Under his instigation, they believed Beijing could be defended. Neither the emperor nor the crown prince should leave. Departure would destabilize the army's morale, cause panic among the people, and jeopardize the city's defense. What began as a debate over state affairs quickly devolved into personal attacks. Your Majesty, for Li Banghua to propose moving south at this critical hour is nothing short of spreading seditious fallacies to delude the masses. By law, he should be. Li Mingrui is short-sighted. He is a disgrace to the emperor's court. His virtue does not match his rank. We should have him. Your Majesty, if you do not leave now. Once the rebels surround the city, there will be no escape. Silence, seeing the clamor had reached its peak. Emperor Chongjun signaled Wang Chengen to intervene. He turned his gaze toward the Grand Secretary, Wei Zhaoda. He asked, "What is the cabinet's stance?" "The cabinet has not yet reached a proper consensus." "Then all of you deliberate at once." In history, Wei Zhaoda had long prepared to defect. He thought, a man of my talent will surely be treated as an honored guest by Li Zicheng. He expected to be wined and dined by the new regime. Thus, Wei Zhaoda did not want Chongjun to escape. According to his scheme, both Chongjun and the three princes should remain in Beijing. If the capital held, he would claim a share of the immense glory. If the capital fell, Chongjun and the three princes would be his tribute to the Dishan army upon surrender. That, too, would be an immense achievement in the eyes of the victors. To him, being a court official was just a job. It mattered little who sat upon the throne. Wei Zhaoda turned back to the other three grand secretaries, whispering to seek their opinions. The cabinet originally had 7 members. Former grand secretaries Chen Yan and Zhang Dezhou, along with Li Jiantai, had gone to reinforce Shaanxi. They were captured by the rebels in Baoding. Now, the cabinet, including Wei Zhaoda, consisted of only 4 men. Wei Zhaoda shook his head slightly. The crown prince is too young. If he goes to Yingtian mansion alone, interference from officials, eunuchs, or the inner court will bring unforeseen disaster upon the Ming dynasty. The capital is the very foundation of our empire. If your majesty abandons it, it is equivalent to handing half the realm to the rebels on a silver platter. That would be a desperate, suicidal gamble. We must hold the capital at all costs and wait for the arrival of the loyalist relief armies. Though the rebels are many, they are nothing more than a ragtag mob. Once Wu Sanggui's Guanning iron cavalry arrives, they will surely scatter like chaff in the wind. The Grand Secretary of the Inner Cabinet, Wei Zhaoda, spoke each word with deliberate precision. His arguments were well-founded, leaving no room for doubt. Chongjun furrowed his brow slightly. Those 3 sentences were indeed airtight. He finally witnessed the sheer cunning of the Grand Secretary. At the same time, his resolve began to shift. As a transmigrator, how could he not see through Wei Zhaoda's hidden agenda? Chongjun nodded, signaling for everyone to return to their positions. He scanned the crowd with a piercing gaze. I have heard everything that you, my ministers, have just said. Some words were logically sound, while others were utter nonsense. He gave a cold snort. You claim the capital can be defended. Then how? Pray enlighten me. The capital has a population of millions. If we mobilize 100,000 citizens, we can certainly hold the city walls. And how shall we mobilize them? By forced conscription or voluntary enlistment. If we force them, are you not afraid they will turn their blades on us? And where will the funds for enlistment come from? Soldiers' pay can be delayed, but what about their rations? Do you expect the people to bring their own food to die for us? The matter of rations is for the Ministry of Revenue. I only propose the overall strategy. I hereby promote you to Minister of Revenue this instant. If you fail to produce a solution, I shall have your head. Chongzhen's anger was not genuine. It was a ploy to force Wei Zhaoda's hand. Guang Xiang was merely a pawn. The man behind him, Wei Zhaoda, was the real big boss. Guang Xiang, are you deaf? I have already appointed you Minister of Revenue. Please tell me your solution. Hearing the word please, Guang Xiang was truly terrified. In the Ming dynasty, few living souls could withstand a request from Emperor Chongjun, and he certainly was not one of them. He knelt on the ground, kowtowing repeatedly until his head hit the floor. Your Majesty, forgive my sins. I should not have spoken so recklessly in court. Please quell your imperial wrath. Chongjun waved his hand, allowing Guang Xiang to retreat to his place. The time was not yet right. A moment later would not be too late. No. The officials heading to Nanjing must serve the crown prince with absolute devotion. Those remaining in the capital must assist me with all their might to repel the rebels. As you command. Now, for the second matter. A faint, almost imperceptible smile played on Changzhen's lips. I just had the accounts calculated. Between the garrison's pay and the recruitment costs, we have a deficit of 1.5 million taels of silver. The national treasury is empty. There is nothing left to use. They say a wise ruler does not let his troops go hungry, for well-fed soldiers are invincible to resist the rebels. I need you, my ministers, to find a way. If we can just raise 1 million taels, we can hold the capital. Seeing their silence, Changzhen said with a forced mocking smile, since you have no solutions, I happen to have an idea of my own. Silence. Please enlighten us, Your Majesty. Donations. The civil and military officials present continue to remain silent. The same old trick. Since the 16th year of Changzhen's reign, donations have been requested countless times. Do any of my ministers have silver to donate? Those who donate shall be promoted and ennobled. On the surface, Changzhen looks anxious, but in his heart he has other plans. My dear ministers, I have given you a golden opportunity. If you fail to seize it, do not blame me. Li Banghua is the first to step forward. He knows clearly that Changzhen is about to make his move. Your servant, Li Banghua, entered official service in the 31st year of Wanli. Every penny and every grain in my home comes from the imperial court. Now that the dynasty is in peril, I am willing to offer my entire family estate to assist in the military campaign. Li Banghua's loyalty is a shining example. I shall reward him greatly. Your servant has long been graced by your kindness, and I am willing to donate half of my family's wealth to support the military. Wang Zhixing, director of the Eastern Depot, immediately kneels, painfully parting with half of his assets. This fellow is truly a money grubber. Even after being pressured, he still dares to keep half for himself. He is truly a man who would die for his riches. Wang Zhixing's loyalty is evident. Promote him to the 3rd rank. Wu Mengming recalls the words Changzhen spoke when summoning him before the assembly. To cater to the emperor, and to save his own skin, he can only bite the bullet and say, your servant is willing to donate 1,000 taels of silver. Good. Our commander shall be promoted by 1 grade. Is there anyone else who will donate silver? Your servant wishes to donate 500 taels to help in this hour of need. Your servant is willing to donate 1,000 taels. Changzhen does the math. The donations range from a few dozen taels to over 1,000. The total does not even exceed 50,000 taels. Is there no one else who wishes to donate? Changzhen's face is expressionless as he asks once more. The officials are as silent as cicadas in winter. Those who wanted to donate have already done so. The rest express their stance with silence. Fine. Since no one else is donating, I shall have to borrow. Upon hearing the word borrow, the Grand Secretary Wei Zhaoda nearly bursts into laughter. Oh Changzhen, Changzhen, you are the son of heaven. Yet you stoop to borrowing from your subjects. Have you no shame left? Wang Chenggen sees that no one responds, and grows anxious. This silence might humiliate his majesty. He quickly winks at Wang Zhixing. Wang Zhixing, feeling the pressure from Wang Chenggen's glare, sighs inwardly. He kneels again and says, Your Majesty, your servant is willing to lend 500 taels to aid the imperial court's campaign. Good, very good. You are a student who can be taught. He waits for a moment longer. Seeing everyone remains silent, Changzhen directly calls out the Vice Minister of Revenue. Historical records state that Vice Minister Wang Zhengji first surrendered to Li Zicheng and later surrendered to the Jurchen invaders. Your Majesty, your servant has very little cash at home. Wang Zhengji calculates the spare change in his house and says, I have only about 100 taels of silver. My other assets are all physical goods. It is not cash. Since it is not much, I shall borrow only a little. How about borrowing half? Changzhen must have gone mad with poverty. Even 100 taels of silver are not spared. After hesitating for a long while, he finally stammered, Your Majesty, I have both elders and children to support. 50 taels of silver might not even last a few days. Rest assured, Minister Wang, as long as I have a bite to eat, your family will not go hungry. Since Changzhen had put it that way, Wang Zhengji could no longer refute him. He could only agree with a mournful face. Changzhen expressionlessly continued to question the Minister of Works, Fan Jingwen. He sighed. How much cash do you have at home? The cash is less than 50 taels. Since it is so little, I will not borrow from you. The others raised their eyebrows, catching the key point. Although Fan Jingwen was telling the truth, as long as they acted poor and pitiful like him, they could escape this ordeal. Zhang Jingyan, where are you? Is there cash in your house? I am an honest official. My home has long been depleted of usable funds. Wang Zhengji squinted at Zhang Jingyan, lamenting in his heart that this was too ruthless. He did not even want to lend a single cent. What Minister Zhang said, is it the truth? I dare not lie. Changzhen's expression became increasingly grim. Under the gaze of the crowd, the Grand Secretary, Wei Zhaoda, slowly stepped forward. I am willing to lend 500 taels of silver to assist the treasury. No, no, no. Minister Wei has misunderstood my meaning. I am asking how much cash you have at home. Duke of Chen. Changzhen ignored him and immediately turned his gaze to this hereditary duke. However, Zhu Chunchen gave Changzhen no hope. My ancestors received the imperial favor as hereditary dukes. Though the estate is large, the rebels are coming. I have already distributed the property to the servants, so they could flee for their lives. Now, the silver remaining in the mansion is less than 500 taels. Hardly worth mentioning. With these words, the hall of imperial supremacy grew cold. Zhu Chunchen's meaning was clear. He would rather give it to his lowly servants than give a single cent to Changzhen. Are you all telling the truth? The soldiers of the 3 great camps in the capital have been without rations for 8 months. The officials of the court are lacking salaries no less than them. Regarding the matter of raising funds, Your Majesty, please find another way. Changzhen glanced warningly at Wu Mengming. After seeing him nod, he turned to look at the civil and military officials. The previous gloom was gone, replaced by a cold sneer. If you are all lying, is that not the crime of deceiving the emperor? The officials sneered inwardly. So what if we deceive him? Now is the time when people are needed most. Does Changzhen dare to kill anyone? The Ming dynasty is finished, as long as they save their lives. When Li Zicheng arrives in Beijing, they will still be court officials. Your Majesty, we have labored half our lives for the country and the people. We dare not deceive you. We hope Your Majesty will appreciate our loyalty. The Grand Secretary speaks the truth. Changzhen begins to clap his hands slowly. The others immediately breathe a sigh of relief. Just as they think they have dodged a bullet, they see a sinister smile playing on Emperor Changzhen's lips. Good, very good. Since my ministers are all speaking the truth, if I discover anyone is lying, do not blame me for being merciless. Wu Mengming, your servant is here, as the commander of the Jin Yue. Wu Mengming is usually a man of great courage, but today, seeing Emperor Changzhen's expression, and hearing the tone of his voice, chills run down his spine. Have you recorded everything I just said? It is recorded, Your Majesty. Lead a team yourself to the residence of Wang Zhengji, Vice Minister of Revenue. If you find more than 100 taels of silver in cash, you need not report back to me. Confiscate his entire estate immediately. Once the assets are tallied, deliver them to the Ministry of Revenue. Escort his family to the prison of the North Pacification Office to await sentencing. The ministers, who were gloating just a moment ago, instantly turned pale upon hearing Changzhen's words. Especially Wang Zhengji. He is seized by instant panic, as the prestigious Vice Minister of Revenue, a high-ranking third-grade official. How could his household possibly have less than 100 taels? Your Majesty, I do not know what crime I have committed to warrant the seizure of my home. I beg Your Majesty for an explanation. Wang Zhengji knows very well that if Changzhen arrests people and raids homes, without a formal charge, the other ministers will drown him in a sea of protest. This is the fundamental rule of the political game. Changzhen gives a cold laugh. Before he can speak, Censor-in-Chief Li Benghua steps forward and says, Your Majesty, I impeach Wang Zhengji, Vice Minister of Revenue. His crimes are twofold. First, the crime of corruption. Wang Zhengji, your ancestors were impoverished, yet in just over 10 years of service, your family's assets exceed 100,000 taels. That money must have come from corruption. Before he can react, Changzhen smiles slightly and says, Censor Li, your words are too harsh. Wang Zhengji and Li Benghua are both stunned. Changzhen continues with a smile on his face, but Wang Zhengji's sense of impending doom grows stronger. Vice Minister Wang claimed he has less than 100 taels of cash. If this is true, it proves he is an exceptionally clean and loyal official. However, if the silver found exceeds 100 taels, there are only 2 possibilities. First, that money does not belong to the vice minister. Perhaps it was stolen. No matter how it was obtained, it is certainly ill-gotten wealth. Second, the vice minister intentionally deceived me, which is the crime of lèse majesty. Vice Minister Wang, tell me, is it the first or the second? Wang Zhengji is completely dumbfounded. He never imagined Changzhen would have such a twisted way of thinking. Seeing that the situation is irreversible, Wang Zhengji decides to play his final card. If Your Majesty is short on funds, I am willing to donate my entire estate for the army's rations. I beg Your Majesty, for the sake of my unwavering loyalty, and for my half-lifetime of toil for the Ming dynasty, to spare my family. The other ministers all look at Chongjun at once, their eyes filled with questioning looks. Chongjun can purge the court, but he cannot extort money in this manner. It is a matter of principle. No one can be sure they won't be the next target. HMPH. Chongjun let out a cold snort. He put his hands behind his back and said with utter disdain, "You think you are worthy of funding the imperial court. You do not have what it takes. What does 2,000,000 taels of silver actually mean?" Since the 15th year of Chongzhen's reign, he had never fought a war with such deep pockets. "I know what concerns you have in your hearts. Regarding these 2,000,000 taels of silver, I was unaware of them before as well. Last night, the late emperor appeared in my dream and revealed this to me. Although they held great reverence for the supernatural, without solid proof, it could not be taken seriously. Your Majesty, where is this silver hidden?" "There is a cellar behind the Hall of Mental Cultivation. The silver is buried right there. Arrange for men to go and dig immediately. Leave no stone unturned until it is found." As Wang Chengen departed, the man sitting upon the dragon throne felt completely at ease. These 2,000,000 tales hidden by Emperor Wanli were recorded in the history books. It was just that the original Chongjun never knew. Ha ha ha. Before long, a man came running back, grinning and holding a silver ingot. "Your Majesty, indeed, behind the Hall of Mental Cultivation." Silver was unearthed from the cellar. A rough estimate suggests at least over 1,000,000 taels. Gasps of shock echoed through the imperial court. "Zusan, what excuses do you have left now?" Bao Jing was dumbfounded. The silver ingots struck his heart like a heavy sledgehammer, stripping him of any strength to resist. "I am guilty. I am willing to donate my entire estate. I beg your Majesty to spare my family." "Guilty of what?" "I am guilty of embezzlement and corruption. I gave you a chance." Seeing that, Chongjun was about to strike at Zhu Jingji. Zhang Jingli and the others knelt one after another to plead for mercy. "Please appease your anger, Your Majesty." They knew only too well, if Zhou Yanru was punished, they would be the next ones in the line of fire. These scholars claimed to serve the Ming dynasty with every breath, yet their hearts were set only on their own gain. Benevolence, righteousness, propriety, wisdom and trust. All their years of study have clearly gone to the dogs. Wang Zhixing was standing aside, enjoying the drama, when the sudden shout startled him out of his wits. He cautiously glanced at Chongjun from the corner of his eye. "Accompany the 5 departments in the joint trial. Investigate every official whose name I just recited. If their assets do not match their records, do not wait for a decree. Raid their homes and arrest them immediately." "Yes, Your Majesty." As Wu Mengming and Wang Zhixing led the Jinyue out of the palace gates, they shared a knowing look. They had a premonition. The Chongjun who wiped out Wei Zhongxian had returned. Back then, he only targeted the eunuch faction. This time, the emperor is coming for everyone. One felt lucky that he had donated his money. Yet at the same time, he felt a surge of fear, for his remaining estate was still vast. As Wu Mengming's figure vanished from sight, Chongjun finally breathed a sigh of relief. In critical moments, one must rely on the Jinyue and the Dongchang. Imperial power in the Ming dynasty was not absolute. It was constrained in many aspects. Take the military as an example. In the capital, besides the Yangwei garrison, the only military forces he could deploy independently were the Jinyue and the Dongchang. Watching Wu Mengming and Wang Zhixing walk away, Wang Jingji fell into utter despair. He could not fathom why Chongjun had changed so much. The emperor used to be so indecisive. Now is the time to cut the Gordian knot. He gazed at the Grand Secretary in a daze. He placed all his hopes upon him. Chongjun made himself crystal clear. Every official named will be investigated. These men hold titles more noble than the last, including the Grand Secretary, Duke of Chen, Zhu Chunchen, and Fan Jingwen, Minister of Works. Except for Fan Jingwen, the others were all seized by panic, because only Fan Jingwen had spoken the truth. Wei Zhaoda and Zhang Jinyan fell to their knees. Before they could beg for mercy, Chongjun raised a hand to silence them. The Jinyue and the Eastern Depot work with great efficiency. I estimate they shall return within a single watch. By then, justice will be served for Vice Minister Wang. Squinting, he finally grasped Zhu Yujian's true intent. Regardless of whether the imperial treasury is empty, he intends to confiscate their estates in the name of the law. Since it has come to this, it is time to beat a strategic retreat, abandon the wealth, resign, and return to the ancestral home. He signaled his cronies with a sharp glance. Then he kowtowed deeply to Zhu Yujian. Your Majesty, since you intend to seize our estates, I am willing to surrender all my assets, provided I may resign and return to my village. Denied, I must uncover the absolute truth. I shall give you all a fair trial. It won't be too late to retire once the facts are out. Seeing the situation, Li Banghua decided to add fuel to the fire. He stepped forward, cupping his hands in salute. Your servant, Li Banghua, hereby impeaches Wei Zhaoda. He lacks the virtue for his high office, forming cliques for private gain, embezzling military rations, and deceiving the emperor. I beg your majesty to investigate thoroughly. I second the motion. I also second the motion. We petition for an immediate inquiry. Wei Zhao's face turned a ghastly shade. He had hoped to quit while he was ahead to save his skin, never expecting them to go for the jugular. What should he do? His eyes scanned the court nervously, searching for strength in numbers. He would not throw in the towel so easily. The more dire the moment, the more he needed a survival plan. Just then, he looked at the Duke of Cheng kneeling on the floor, and a surge of joy hit him. Wei Zhao shot him a knowing look. Zhu Chunxin was struggling for a way out, but seeing the Grand Secretary's signal, they immediately formed a united front. Both men stood up simultaneously. Clasping their hands, they addressed the officials, both those named and those not yet accused. Gentlemen, the rebel threat to the capital is dire. Yet, His Majesty intends to raid our homes to fund the army. If he raids my house today, he will raid yours tomorrow. Once the entire court has been stripped bare, will he then resort to desecrating our ancestral graves? How bold. Guards, arrest them. Take them away. HMPH. I asked you to donate grain and you refused. I asked to borrow grain and you declined. When asked how much silver you had in your coffers, you claimed you had not a single grain of rice. What are you so afraid of? The Grand Secretary's annual salary is barely 100 taels. You have been in office for only 4 years. Where did this massive family fortune come from? Wealth was his Achilles heel. One would not even need the Jinyue. Any simple audit would show that his lifestyle and salary do not add up. But the officials of the Ming dynasty are all corrupt. If he were not part of the swamp, he would not fit in, let alone have risen to the position of Grand Secretary. Under normal circumstances, I would merely strip you of your office. But now, HMPH. Your numerous crimes warrant death. Guards, drag him out before the masses. Seize all his assets for the imperial treasury, as you command. A bone-chilling silence instantly grips the Great Hall. The Grand Secretary stands frozen in place, unable to believe his own ears. He never expected His Majesty would actually dare to finish him off. Li Ruolian clenches both fists. It is not fear, but pure exhilaration. His Majesty has finally taken the gloves off against these hypocrites. What a relief. Seeing the Jinyue hesitating, Li Ruolian roars in anger. Are you four deaf? Drag him down for execution immediately. Yes, Commander. The Jinyue rush forward, seizing the Grand Secretary and dragging him out the main gate. Ah. Ha ha ha. The ministers gather to discuss grain supplies and military deployments, the equipment and manpower of the 3 great camps, and the defense of the capital's southern reaches, are debated throughout the night as matters of national survival. It is not until the first light of dawn that every detail is finally deployed in order. Zhu Yujian takes a deep breath. The Zhu Yujian of history always said, "My ministers failed me." At this moment, he believes it without a shadow of a doubt. The Ming dynasty has no more blood to be bled dry any further, and the nation will perish along with its people. The things you, Zhu Yujian, did not dare to do, I will. He quickly regains his composure, restoring a cold, calculated calm. In the days to come, darkness looms ahead. The rebel bandits are approaching, yet the capital's camps are empty. Ministry of War, begin recruitment at once. I obey your decree, Your Majesty. That silver is real. He breathes a sigh of relief. He looks up at His Majesty, yet his heart is filled with immense worry. Confiscating wealth is but a drop in the ocean for our thirst. Purging officials now may hinder the city's defense. I know what I am doing. Tell me your plan for recruitment. Your servant plans to first pay the arrears of the 3 great camps, then issue 5 taels of silver to each defender. These men are far more capable than common civilians. Next, we will set up over 100 recruitment points across the capital. Young able-bodied men get 4 taels for defense, while the elderly get 3 taels. The first part is fine, but the rest is too restrictive. This time, loosen the recruitment criteria. Anyone who can pick up a brick shall be recruited. Your Majesty, recruitment has always been for the young and strong. I fear your terms are far too lenient. Sigh. Do you think I do not know that? But the plague is rampant in the capital. Never mind the young and able. How many people, young, old, male, or female, are even left to fight? Indeed, Ming's enemies are not just the rebel bandits, but also the plague and the Jianzhou Jurchens. Wei Zhao's mind has completely collapsed. My fellow colleagues, I have always treated you well in the past. Help me, please, help me. In ordinary times, someone would surely have pleaded for mercy. But today is different. To save their own skins, the ministers are siding with the emperor. As they hesitate, Wei Zhaoda begins to hurl insults. Zhu Yujian, you faint-hearted tyrant. Zhu Yujian, you incompetent fool. 17 years on the throne. Yet you are dim-witted and immoral, failing both the state and the people. The Ming dynasty is about to perish at the hands of a failed ruler like you. Your Majesty, Wei Zhaoda has been executed as prescribed by law. A deathly silence falls over the great hall. The Duke of Cheng quietly falls to his knees. Changjun sneers coldly. Zhu Chunchen trembles all over. Kneeling on the ground, he dares not even breathe. Your Majesty, I was just about to stop Wei Zhaoda. Changjun asks with a disdainful smile. The Grand Secretary has been executed. The position of Senior Grand Secretary is now vacant. Do any of you have a candidate to recommend? Seeing the crowd remain silent, the Emperor proposes appointing Censor Li to the Grand Secretariat. The officials sigh in relief and shout in unison. Your Majesty is truly wise. Effective today, Li Banghua joins the Grand Secretariat. He shall serve as the Senior Grand Secretary. As for the vacancies in the Ministry of Personnel and Rights, let me consider it. After scanning the court for a moment, he makes his decision. Minister of Rights, Zhang Kunyuan. Do you plead guilty? Zhang Kunyuan had been dreading these words. I am guilty. I beg your Majesty for mercy. Since you have confessed, you are relieved of your post at the Ministry of War. Await further sentencing. I thank your Majesty for your profound grace. Effective today, Han Zhoucheng is relieved of his post as censor. He is reassigned as the Minister of Rights. Proceed. Grand Secretary Fan Jingwen is appointed Minister of Rights. Grand Secretary Fang Yugong is appointed Minister of Revenue. The civil and military officials kneel and shout together. Your Majesty is divinely wise. We shall respectfully obey the imperial decree. The Emperor heaves a long sigh of relief. You may all return to your offices. Each department must fulfill its duties. There must be no delays. The Grand Secretariat and the Count of Qin City will remain. We obey your command. Those who were not called can leave now. The ministers feel as if they have been granted a second life. The Grand Secretariat and the Count of Qin City follow me to the side hall. The rest of you, wait for me here. Wait until Wu Mengming and Wang Zhixing return. Only those found innocent may leave. Your Majesty, please forgive me. I know my wrongs. Your Majesty, in honor of my ancestors' merits, please spare me. Li Rulian, have your men guard the hall. Feed them if they are hungry, but anyone who leaves without permission shall be executed, as you command. Zhu Yujian takes a deep breath. In history, Zhu Yujian always said his ministers failed him. At this moment, he believes it without a doubt. The great Ming has no blood left to be sucked dry. Any further, and the nation will perish, and our race will be wiped out. What you, the former Zhu Yujian, dared not do, I will do. The infamy you were unwilling to bear, I will bear it. The great Ming that you could not save, I will save. From now on, the imperial court is my battlefield. No man is without desire. What they seek is the process of gain. In this situation, I must use them as the first sacrificial lambs. Zhu Yujian first grants a private audience to Li Banghua. Before the doors even close, Changjun gets straight to the point. The capital's garrisons are empty. The Ministry of War must begin recruitment immediately. I obey your command, Your Majesty. As for the funding, Li Banghua finally breathes a sigh of relief. He looks up at His Majesty, but his heart is filled with immense worry. Confiscating estates can only quench our thirst for a moment. Raiding homes now will not help in defending the city. I know exactly what I am doing. Tell me about the recruitment plan. I plan to first pay the arrears owed to the 3 great battalions. Then I will issue 5 taels as city defense pay. These men are far more capable than ordinary civilians. Next, I will set up over 100 recruitment points throughout the capital. The young and strong will receive 5 taels of defense pay. The elders will receive 3 taels. The first part is fine, but the second is too lenient. This time, the recruitment criteria must be broadened. Anyone who can pick up a brick can be recruited. Your Majesty, recruitment has historically only targeted the young and strong. I fear your majesty's conditions are too lax. Most officials outside the imperial city have arrived. Those on the list will follow the crown prince to the south. Some not on the list have come to see them off. The Jinyue and the Eastern Depot guards stand on both sides. They are clad in the armor of the 3 great battalions. He announced loudly, bows, crossbows, and firearms are all fully equipped. In the name of the Son of Heaven, I give you all my word. The Eastern Depot guards and the Jinyue were instantly invigorated. Long live your majesty. The officials and nobles showed no reaction. Set off immediately. There were no bells or drums, nor were there any musical instruments. The crown prince's southward convoy finished assembling before the Meridian Gate. With a single command from Emperor Chongjun, over 100 horse-drawn carriages slowly began to move, departing from the capital. Once they passed through the Great Left Gate, the convoy's speed increased significantly. Just as they were leaving the city gates, several men disguised as merchants outside the capital leapt onto their horses. They galloped away in different directions. Commander, it is less than 60 li to Tongzhou from here. I believe we should make haste and spur our horses, lest any unforeseen changes occur. It is a bumpy road ahead. I fear the ladies will not be able to endure it. The road is indeed rough. Before we left, Minister Li ordered thick quilts to be padded inside the carriages. It won't be too jolting. Very well. Pass down the order. Everyone, make haste by your command. Outside the capital, watching the southward convoy vanish into the darkness, the nobles and ministers turned to leave. His Majesty has an edict. Everyone halted their steps. They turned back to face the emperor. Gentlemen, I came out today to see them off. Yet I unexpectedly encountered assassins. Fortunately, the Jinyue protected me effectively. The assassins have already been executed. After saying these words, everyone was shocked. The emperor was nearly assassinated, such a grave matter. Why had we not heard of this? Before they could think further, they heard Emperor Chongjun speak again. The world is unsafe these days. You all carry great wealth upon you, traveling alone in the dead of night. What if you encounter bandits? How about this, for your own safety? I have designated a specific area within the imperial city. Leave your carriages here. Wait until daybreak, and I shall send men to escort your carriages back. What say you? What is the meaning of your majesty's words? If you can't borrow the money, you will just rob us, won't you? Your majesty is burdened by state affairs. You must already be exhausted. I shall not trouble your majesty further. I beg leave to retire. He did not wait for the emperor's consent. He turned and started to walk away. Wang Chengen, I am here. Go to the area near the Meridian Gate and the left Peace Gate. Move all those carriages into the Forbidden City. If anyone dares to obstruct you, arrest them on the spot. Hand them over to the Jinyue prison. Your will be done. Your Majesty, have mercy. Your old servant's life savings are all on those carriages. If your Majesty confiscates these assets, death would be a mercy compared to living like this. Lord Father-in-law, you exaggerate. Why would I ever confiscate your property? I simply recall you saying with your own lips that your household was destitute and you had no coin to your name. Last year, you even borrowed money from the Empress to get by. I wonder where this sudden fortune came from. Is it stolen, plundered, or the fruit of embezzlement? You may choose to remain silent, but the Jinyue's torture chambers have a way of making people talk. Care to test that theory? Your Majesty, even if your old servant has a vast fortune, it was all bestowed by the imperial family. How could it be called corruption? Hey, since you say this wealth was bestowed by the imperial family, then I shall not be modest. The imperial house is now in peril, and we are in dire need of resources. In the name of the emperor, I am temporarily reclaiming these gifts. When the court treasury is full again, I shall repay you tenfold. Your Majesty is the Son of Heaven of the Great Ming. How can you go back on your word? Furthermore, a gift is like spilled water. There is no logic in taking it back. I am the logic. Wang Chengen, hurry and lead those carriages into the Forbidden City. Your servant obeys your command. Ah, no. Stop, please. The father-in-law's estate is worth millions. These carriages likely hold only 80% of it. Is the remaining 20% hidden in your manor? Should I have the Eastern Depot dig it up? If digging 3 feet deep does not find it, we will dig 4. Ha ha ha. It is not that I dare not kill you. The Eastern Depot and the Jinyue have many ways to make you disappear without a sound. I am very fond of the Empress. The only reason you are still breathing is so she won't be heartbroken. That is all. if you continue to be so insolent, do not blame me for being heartless. General, it has been a long and arduous journey. I have received word that the rebels captured Hujian Mansion yesterday. We must hasten our pace to shake them off. Inform everyone. Full speed ahead. General, the roads are muddy. If the carriages move too fast, they will likely overturn. Besides, these horses are bred for endurance, not for sprinting. We can only proceed slowly. This won't do. If the rebels send out a light cavalry unit, they won't even need to charge us. They could just circle the convoy and fire arrows at will. To a cavalryman, these carriages are nothing but sitting ducks. When the time comes, they won't be able to catch up or run away. As time drags on, we will be worn down to our deaths. Understood. Governor Feng, 1,000 household Gao. I have a plan. Gao. Take 2,000 men and ride ahead to Wuqing City. Once you arrive, rest your troops immediately. Wait for the enemy at your leisure. Should the rebel light cavalry attempt to intercept the crown prince, you will be perfectly positioned to repel them. Move out, and if they do not come, once the convoy arrives, we shall proceed together to the docks to board the ships. How does that sound? Agreed. At your command. Notify everyone. Ride with all haste. Report. Scouts from last night have brought urgent news. Emperor Changzhen has ordered the crown prince to move south, while he himself remains to defend the capital. Ha ha ha, this is truly a godsend. Pass down my order. Assemble the troops and strike immediately. My Lord Commander, the scouts have returned. A troop of cavalry has been spotted 20 li to the northwest. They number over 3,000. Have you lost your damn mind? Cavalry are always the elite forces. 2,000 cavalry. State clearly, are they friend or foe? They are wearing the armor of the frontier army. They appear to be allies. Allies, my foot. Even if there were elite troops nearby, His Majesty would have already deployed them to defend the capital. These people are certainly enemies disguised in our armor. They intend to use this deception to catch us off guard. Order all men. Prepare to engage the enemy. Charge. Fight bravely and crush the enemy. A reward of 50 taels of silver. Those who stay and fight despite their wounds shall be promoted by 1 rank, 100 taels of silver, and the grant of the flying fish robe. For those who fall on the battlefield, a promotion of 3 ranks, and 200 taels of silver reward. Your names shall be immortalized as loyal martyrs. Deploy the troops to meet the enemy. All units, listen up. The rebels are within 100 paces. Musketeers to the front, ready. At 50 paces. All archers, loose arrows. The rebels are within 50 paces. Cavalry lead the way. Infantry support the rear. All units charge. Four. 5. R. Rise for the Great Ming. Face the national crisis together. Arise, Great Ming. Reclaim our mountains and rivers. Fight until the very end. Never surrender. The sun, the moon, and the land shall endure forever. Soldiers, follow me and break their formation. Ah. Arg. Slay them. Charge, serve the empire. Disregard life and death. Ya. Ha ha ha. Hold the line. Shields to the front. Ah. Men, follow me and break out. Kill. Charge. All troops, hear my command. Follow me and fight our way back. Slay them all. At your command. Kill. Ha, arg. Capture the crown prince alive, follow me and charge. Capture the crown prince alive, a promotion of 6 ranks, a reward of 1,000 taels of gold, charge. You. Where is the crown prince's convoy? Sir, I do not know. Ah. The carriage drawn by 4 horses is up ahead. HMPH. You must be the crown prince of the great Ming dynasty, Zhu Salong. I am. One last time, is he the crown prince? They are not, we are decoys. The crown prince is not in the convoy at all. The crown prince's southern relocation was all a bait. Our lone army has advanced too deep. We have fallen into a trap. Zhu Salong. General, there is movement from behind. Ah. Ah. Protect the dynasty, secure the state. Tonight is the night. Forward with me. Use mounted archery tactics immediately. Do not engage in close combat. Ah. Once the enemy cavalry is repelled, the infantry will rout on their own. SL. Eunuch Zhang, are you all right? I can still hold on. Jinyue, hear my command. From this moment, Eunuch Zhang will assume command of all forces. As you command. 1,000 Household Commander Gao, rest assured. When we return victorious, we shall drink hot tea together. Jinyue, forward with me. Ah. Withdraw quickly and regroup with the main force. Neither heaven, earth, nor man are on our side. General, the enemy is well rested, awaiting our exhausted troops. Our army is weary, we must retreat at once. Retreat. But what about our brothers on the battlefield? Every man for himself. The soldiers without horses cannot escape even if they turn back now. Zhao Deneng, your subordinate general, is here. Lead 500 Jinyue. Follow Eunuch Zhang. Capture the enemy general, Wang Shid. If he retreats, return immediately to provide support. Wang Shengai. Here. Take 200 Eastern Depot guards to reinforce the infantry line. Break the siege at once. The rest of the men, follow me to secure the battlefield. Tend to the wounded. See, our soldiers fought to the death. the mountains and rivers grieve with us. Take 2 carriages of compensation funds and return to your posts to rest and regroup. Present the roster to Viceroy Luo. His Majesty will generously honor these loyal souls. Their names shall be engraved on the shrine of loyalty. Your subordinate general obeys. Viceroy Lu, what is the status of the Crown Prince's safety? The Crown Prince is unharmed. He has already been moved to a new location. Gentlemen, your convoy delayed the enemy. That is how you bought our army, a strategic opportunity. Upon our return to the capital, I will certainly request merits for all of you. The Crown Prince's convoy. You actually made us act as bait. The Crown Prince is being escorted by the elite Valiant Guards. He has already arrived safely at the ships in Geely. This was His Majesty's profound strategy, to preserve the foundation of our nation. Set forth and escort the Crown Prince's convoy. Head straight for Geely. Soldiers, you are my personal army. Delay the enemy for one more day. The capital will be more secure. This journey is a matter of our nation's survival. Do not fail His Majesty's grace. The mission must be accomplished. The Valiant Guard march out. Kill, kill, kill. Your Majesty, on this mission, I shall not fail your grace. What is the strategy for this operation? Conceal ourselves in strategic locations. Harass the enemy's marching column with bows and firearms. Strike and retreat immediately. Repeat this in cycles. This plan is difficult to execute. Let us run a simulation. I will be the enemy, General. Marching 50 li a day. 3 units of light cavalry lie in ambush. What would you do? Avoid the enemy's main force. Focus on eliminating their scouts. If we encounter a lone unit, we neutralize it. Pang Zijing. How long has it been since the Valiant Guard and the 3 great garrisons tasted meat? Your Majesty, it has been so long I can no longer recall. HMPH. Wang Chengen, tomorrow, send men to the southern pastures. Hunt game to warm the hearts of the 3 armies. Your servant obeys. The Crown Prince should be preparing to make his move by now. Your Highness, Huang Fei, the regional commander of the Guanliao and Denglai naval forces, requests an audience. Admit him. Your servant Huang Fei pays his respects to His Highness, the Crown Prince. Greetings, Lord Censor-in-Chief of the Left. Commander Huang, dispense with the formalities. Be seated. What are the numbers of your naval personnel and warships? We have 21,286 soldiers, 2 double-hulled Fuchuan warships, nearly 100 large Fuchuan warships, and over 100 each of patrol boats and winter ships. A secret decree states that Lu Ziqing, under the pretense of escorting you, will actually attempt to abduct you. By imperial order, you are to devise a plan to ensnare the traitor. Ensure the Crown Prince's safe arrival in Nanjing. This is the decree. Your servant obeys the decree. To capture him alive is not necessary. He is a traitor. Blade, axe, or firearm all are permitted. Once the commanding general is dead, the army's morale will stabilize on its own. Invite him to board the ship. Once he enters our navy's domain, he will surely use the difficulty of boarding war horses as an excuse. His force of 15,000 men is too large for the ships to accommodate. If he requests the Crown Prince to come to him, you two just watch. His Majesty's secret edict for leaving the capital. Use intimidation. The time is right, the place is set. Use intimidation. Use gunpowder. W. Halt where you are. One step closer and we release our arrows. Under the command of the Shandong Regional Commander, we are under orders to escort the Crown Prince. This is our official document. The Crown Prince invites Commander Lu to enter the city for a discussion. When can he arrive? Commander Lu was injured in a fall from his horse. He is unable to enter the city gate. He humbly requests His Highness to join him in his camp for his complete protection. According to the laws of our nation, the safety of the heir apparent is paramount. The regional commander must enter the city in person to pay his respects. The Adjutant General will now report. The main army is about to arrive. Do not, under any circumstances, harm our allied forces. My Lord Commander, the Adjutant General has said everything that needed to be said. They still insist that you go into the city for the discussion. Are you damn well trying to trick me? My Lord Commander, you jest. This officer is only loyal to the general. Everyone else can step aside. All supply wagons, set up camp where you stand. All cavalry, follow me. I am heading to Tai Men Pass to seize the military funds. Tonight's midnight moon is clear, hanging right in the center of the southern sky. With our backs to the south and facing north, everything on the Tai Men Pass will be plain as day. Order Guo San to wait outside the city gate. Take a dozen men men with you. And keep your eyes glued to those city walls. If you see a single spark, even the tiniest flicker of light, shout it out at the top of your lungs. Relay the order as soon as you hear my signal. What if we see someone using a matchlock? What should we do then? General, I am at your service. Take up your shields and surround me closely. No matter what I do, you must not leave my side. Your servant obeys your command. Zhang Yuan, go and hail the gate. I, Zhang Yuan, come by order to deliver a message. General Liu Ziqing of Shandong, acting on imperial decree to escort the crown prince to Nanjing, requests His Highness to join the council in the military camp. Commander Liu, what is the meaning of this? Is this a request? This is clearly an ultimatum. If the crown prince refuses to go, does he actually intend to commit treason? He is broke. Since the decree says the prince has the military funds, he won't let that money slip through his fingers. In his eyes, the crown prince is optional, but the money is not. If we do not pay, he might not revolt openly, but he will certainly lay siege to the city. Since General Liu finds it inconvenient to enter, tell him to come to the city gate for the council. Let us go and meet him. Commander Liu, remember this. Try your best to drive the carriage right under my city walls. My cannons and firearms are extremely heavy. Firing straight is easy, but firing downward is nearly impossible to manage. As long as you stay close to the gate, they won't be able to pull off a sneak attack. The initial impact will be minimal. We can handle a minor setback. Lu Sheng, the soldier who fell from his horse. Where were you injured? Can you stand up and let me have a look? Commander Liu, please forgive me. Your subordinate has just taken medicine and cannot be exposed to the wind. His Highness the Crown Prince is right behind me. Why have not you shown your true face yet? A city under siege bears the weight of all living things. Your servant Tucson pays respects to your Highness. I was injured, falling from my horse, and cannot endure the cold wind. I must use these shields for cover. I beg your Highness's understanding. I cannot see your face clearly. Bring the torches closer. Let His Highness the Crown Prince see more clearly. Good heavens, Mother of Mercy. What on earth happened? I do not know. It looks like the general's carriage exploded. The general? Is the general all right? He should be fine. Go and check. Your Highness, are you unhurt, Your Highness? Commander Liu, did you find Liu Ziqing? He is likely dead. Good. That is for the best. Brothers, the general has been blown up by the imperial court. The general risked his life for the empire. Yet the court repays his kindness with murder. Do you all agree? One day, will we not meet the same fate? All generals, hear my command. Everyone, lower your weapons. What does the viceroy intend to do? Your Highness, the Crown Prince, I intend to act as an envoy. And while I am at it, I will bring them under my command. You could just shout from the city walls. Why must you go in person? Indeed, by the time Viceroy Liu's reinforcements arrive, it will be too late. If I should fail, I ask your Highness to disguise yourself as a common soldier. Blend in with Huang Feng's men and escape the city. Viceroy, take care. I am the military viceroy, the left viceroy of the Central Army Command. Who among you holds the highest rank? I am here under orders to lead the armies of the realm to the capital to relieve the siege. I am Deputy General Li Liangke. What do you have to say, Viceroy Liu? You have refused to obey orders. You have embezzled military funds. That is the crime of corruption. You have corresponded with the rebel Li Zicheng. That is the crime of treason. The penalty is execution. Whoever kills the traitor Li Liangke shall be promoted 3 ranks and rewarded with 1,000 taels of silver. Li Liangke's unit will remain unchanged. Every man will be promoted 1 rank. I ask you, will you accept this decree or not? Li Liang is here with a forged imperial edict. Kill him and avenge our regional commander. I have 3 tasks. First, to escort the crown prince to Nanjing. Second, to distribute your military pay. All your previously withheld wages will be paid in full. Furthermore, each man will receive an additional 5 taels of silver. My subordinate Tian Liang is appointed to the post of adjutant. Greetings, Viceroy Liu. My anxious heart is finally at ease. Follow me to the front of the city to receive your silver. Afterward, we will divide into 2 groups. One group will escort the crown prince to Nanjing. The other group will follow my banner. A promise from the King of Qin is worth more than mountains and rivers. My loyal heart is as clear as the sun and moon. Your Majesty, Tang Tong's army was defeated at Juyong Pass. He is now leading his 7,000 remaining soldiers in retreat towards the capital. The rebels have already reached Luzhou. They are in close pursuit. Their advance is overwhelming. In this battle, our army suffered over 3,000 casualties. However, 70% were civilians swept up by the rebels. The common people. The rebels' grain supplies have reached a point 50 li southwest of the capital. They are expected to arrive at the Tongzhou official granaries outside the capital by tomorrow. All shipments have been halted. All ships belonging to retired and current nobles and court officials are docked at the Tianjin wharves. The Valiant Guard Battalion returned to the capital last night. Apart from one man who was injured, there were no other losses. On this expedition, we killed a total of 27 rebel scouts. We captured 2 rebels and seized 29 war horses. The left viceroy and his 13,000 troops have reached the outskirts of Tianjin. They are expected to arrive at the capital in 3 days. The crown prince has set sail by ship. He has now reached the vicinity of Haizhou. All is proceeding smoothly. Grand Secretary Li, how many civilians have been recruited these past few days? Your Majesty, a total of 78,247 civilians have been recruited. Weapons have already been distributed to all of them. Minister Fang, how many civilians have been relocated? Your Majesty, all civilians within a 50 li radius of the capital have been moved into the city. Areas beyond 50 li are beyond our reach. Very well. All of you, return and make your preparations. Tomorrow, you will ascend the city walls with me. Let us see for ourselves what these rebels truly look like. Your Majesty, I move to impeach Tang Tong. Although the rebels have breached Ningwu Pass, they lost nearly 80,000 men and many generals. Even if he cannot defeat them, he should have been able to hold out for at least 10 more days. In fact, his losses in men and commanders were not much different from the rebels. I implore Your Majesty to hold Tang Tong accountable for his crimes. I second the motion. I also second the motion. But now is a time when we are in dire need of men. Would it not be inappropriate to punish him at this moment? Your Majesty, I have heard that while Tang Tong was defending Juyong Pass, he was in correspondence with the rebels. He had a secret agreement to coordinate from within. When he returned to the capital, he would open the city gates and let the rebels into the city. Your Majesty, when Tang Ong retreated from Juyong Pass, he left behind a large cache of gunpowder and firearms, as well as Hung Yi cannons. This is tantamount to arming the enemy. I have understood the sentiments of my ministers. This matter is of grave importance. Allow me to consider it. Brilliant. Your Majesty, these books are not just paper. They offer no protection. I am about to conduct a live fire test. It is not just for show, it's bulletproof effect. Ah. Your Majesty's intellect is truly unparalleled, far surpassing that of ordinary men. Enough with the flattery. Quickly, pass on the message. Have the soldiers without armor fashion their own using this method. Just thread the books with rope and hang them on your body. Just thread the books with rope and hang them on your body. Just thread the books with rope and hang them on your body. Just thread the books with rope and hang them on your body. Just thread the books with rope and hang them on your body. Reporting to Your Majesty, an enemy force has been spotted to the northwest. Their banners bear the character Shun. It appears to be the main army of the rebel Li Zicheng. Just as I predicted, a unit of Shun cavalry is galloping towards the capital. Ahead of them, a few scattered horsemen are desperately riding back. It goes without saying, those are our scouts. Your Majesty, why do you say they are not here for a decisive battle? The night is dark and the wind is high. The men on the city walls cannot see clearly. If they were seeking a decisive battle, why not attack at night? Digging trenches in broad daylight serves only one purpose. That is to use these men's lives to probe the number of defenders and cannons at each city gate. If I am not mistaken, there are rebels digging trenches outside the other gates as well. Your Majesty, this general will immediately give the order to engage the enemy. No rush. I believe they will turn back halfway. Wait until they are midway through their charge. It will not be too late to open fire then. Your Majesty's strategy is divine. You are truly a modern-day Zhuge Liang. Grand Secretary Li, a few days ago. I had Fan Jingwen bring all the game from the southern hunting grounds back to the capital. Now that the rebels' assault is imminent, distribute that game to the soldiers and civilians defending the city. Boost their morale. Furthermore, starting today, set up soup kitchens throughout the city. I want not only the soldiers defending the walls to have a hot meal, but also the common people of the city to have full stomachs. Your servant obeys. What of the death squad I ordered you to recruit a few days ago? I have recruited over 400 men. Their weapons and armor have all been fully equipped. Have them prepare for action tonight. Have the city defenders, after nightfall, fire a cannon volley every hour. Simultaneously, lure the enemy into an urn-like encirclement, and annihilate them, as you command. Your Highness, today you sent out civilians to probe our defenses and cannon placements. All the other city gates met with resistance. Only the western auxiliary gate was completely silent, without a single cannon shot. Not even a bird was sent out. According to the scouts, he used a telescope and saw many people on the city walls. Judging by their clothing, they must have been officials. It seems their plan is to have the army cross over the city walls. Or perhaps the cannon commander at the secondary gate was afraid of the noise and did not fire. Your Majesty, I think he was scared witless. Why do not we send Du Shuan into the city tonight to force his hand? You have misunderstood, Minister. The Grand Army has just arrived at the foot of Beijing's walls. They are in dire need of rest and reorganization. Sending Du Shuan to negotiate with the young emperor now serves two purposes. First, it shows our army's urgent need for a respite. Second, these negotiations are a psychological tactic to demoralize our city's defenders. The emperor only needs us to relax our terms. He will likely agree. Once he agrees to negotiate, the morale of the city's defenders will simply vanish. Then, we will attack the city. Your Majesty. Yes, what is it? Your Majesty, the Zhongyan County Registrar Yan Yingyuan has arrived. Who? The Zhongyan County Registrar has arrived. Quickly, have him enter. A county registrar is but a minor, unranked official. Yet His Majesty uses the word invite. Your servant pays his respects to Your Majesty. Long live my emperor. Long live 10,000 years. Your Majesty, those who surrender to the rebels, all tie a white cloth around their right arm. I dress this way only to deceive the rebels. That is why I am attired as such. I pray Your Majesty will forgive my appearance. Registrar Yan, rise quickly. I have been eagerly awaiting your arrival. I am humbled. May I ask for Your Majesty's command? Registrar Yan, you may be at ease. I have summoned you for the defense of the city. That is all. Thank you, Your Majesty. Have you had your evening meal? Wang Chengen, have the imperial kitchen prepare a couple of dishes, and some congee as well. Your Majesty, I am overwhelmed with gratitude. Registrar Yan, the rebel army has besieged the capital. I am entrusting the capital city to you. Are you confident you can hold it? Your Majesty, that is not the proper way. If Your Majesty wishes to place me in a position of great responsibility, please allow me to prove my worth by defending the city walls for a few rounds. I will not fail my mission. Let us do this. The commander defending the West Convenience Gate is the Jinyue's vice commander, Wang Guoxing. Go and assist him in the city's defense. I want you to think from a general's perspective. Use strategy, use your mind to defend the city. Only then can the capital be saved. What an impressive man, this Yan Yingyuan. Your Majesty, there is one thing your servant does not understand. May I ask for Your Majesty's guidance? Speak. Sun Tzu's Art of War states that attacking the mind is paramount. Attacking the city is secondary. Psychological warfare is the highest form of strategy. The rebel army has surrounded the city. Do you have a plan for psychological warfare against the enemy? Have you read The Art of War? I know a little. Wang Chengen, my loyal servant, prepare some white cloth, about 20 feet wide. The longer, the better. Tomorrow, hang it below the city walls. Are we to write something on the white cloth? Correct. What words do you think would be most fitting? Your Majesty, I believe these words would be most appropriate to write on the cloth. Those who surrender will be pardoned. Officials will be restored to their original posts. Provisions will be ample. No military pay will be in arrears. Ha ha ha, who am I to pardon? I will obey your command. You may withdraw. Forge an imperial edict. After you are disguised, personally deliver this to Wu Waiwa, the Vice Minister of Revenue. Have him exit the city from the West Gate. Once outside, he is to find Li Zicheng and negotiate peace. You will dispatch men to surround Wu Weiwa's residence. If he refuses to accept the decree from Wang Chengen, you will use the lives of his entire family to compel him. Assign a few men to follow him. The moment he leaves the city from the west, immediately arrest his entire household. Await my further orders. Your Majesty, why not just execute him? I fear it would dirty your hands. Let the wicked deal with the wicked. I am giving this opportunity to Li Zicheng after this traitor has surrendered. He who traded the blood of Ming citizens for a noble title. Today, I shall borrow the enemy's blade to purge my own court. Your Majesty, Du Xuan has returned. He is currently kneeling outside the imperial city, begging for an audience. A man who surrendered. How dare he return, guards? Your Majesty, I was wrong. I will never dare to do it again. Du Xuan, as the chief eunuch of the imperial kitchen. You failed to show the slightest loyalty. Instead, you defected on the eve of battle. I order him to be dragged to the top of Fuqingmen Gate Tower immediately. Behead him as a public example, and exterminate his 3 clans. Your Majesty, are you asleep? Your Majesty, what is it? Your Majesty, it is Lu Zongmin. General Lu requests an urgent audience. Let him in. Your Majesty, forgive my intrusion. I should not have disturbed Your Majesty's rest, but an envoy has been sent to negotiate peace. I cannot make the decision on my own. I had no other choice but to disturb you. Who is this envoy sent to negotiate peace? Wu Waiwa, who holds the post of Vice Minister of Revenue. Song Min, take Wu Waiwa to the Central Command Tent. I will be there shortly. Inform strategist Song and Left Regent Niu Jingsing to proceed to the Central Command Tent. We will discuss the matter of the peace negotiations. Summon in Ta. I have questions for him. I, your servant, pay my respects to Your Majesty. Rise. I have some questions for you. I will speak all that I know, and hold nothing back. Do you know Wu Waiwa, the Vice Minister of Revenue? Wu Waiwa is a native of Shuntai, after Gongshan Pengyu and Wu Yunji. His ancestors were from the Tatar Batut tribe. During the Yongle reign, they submitted to the Ming court. Emperor Zhu Di bestowed upon them the surname Wu. If you have something to say it. Spit it out. A grown man, dithering like this. You are acting like a woman. Forgive me, Your Majesty. What I just said are all facts. What I wanted to say but did not dare to are rumors. That is why I hesitated. Speak. I permit you to speak of these rumors. Wu Waiwa is colluding with merchants from Shaanxi who engage in forbidden trade, under the cover of their identities. He not only established counterfeit iron mines and firearm workshops in the name of the Ming court, intending to sell them to the Jianzhou Jurchens, but even military intelligence from the Liaodong campaign also passed through Wu Weiwa's hands, and was relayed to the Jianzhou Jurchens. Very well. You are dismissed. I take my leave, and will proceed to the Central Command Tent. We, your servants, pay our respects. I, your servant, pay my respects to Your Majesty, the Emperor of the Great Shun. Long live Your Majesty, 10,000 years, 10,000 times 10,000 years. Rise. Wu Waiwa. I heard it was Zhu Yujian who sent you to negotiate peace. You are so spineless. Does Zhu Yujian know about this? I was forced into this. If I had not come, those Jinyue, those dogs would have seized my entire family and dragged them to the imperial prison. How does Zhu Yujian plan to negotiate for peace? This is the imperial decree drafted by Emperor Chongjun. Your servant humbly requests the Great Shun Emperor to review it. The Emperor states in the letter that he is willing to pay 1 million taels of silver for military expenses, and cede Shaanxi and Henan as fiefdoms. The condition is that the Great Shun army must retreat and hold Henan, then head southwest to assist in suppressing Zhangxianzhong. Furthermore, elite troops must be sent to Liaodong. To join forces in eliminating the Jianzhou Jurchens. Your Majesty, you must not fall for this. This is merely Zhu Yujian's stalling tactic. Your Majesty, our great army has already surrounded Beijing. Zhu Yujian's only way out is to abdicate and surrender the realm to the Great Shun. Do not fret, I will not be played by Chongjun. Wu Waiwa, I have a few questions for you. You must answer truthfully. Great Shun Emperor, please speak. Which city gate did you exit from? How many defenders are there in all of Beijing? How many cannons? They were recruiting soldiers in the city a few days ago. Adding to the existing garrison. The defenders number roughly 120,000. The garrison at Zibianman should be less than 10,000. As for the Folangji cannons, there are over 100 in total, and several hundred other small firearms. You would not dare deceive me, would you? Great Shun Emperor, your servant has but one thought. I pray your majesty captures the city soon, so that my family and I may be delivered from this sea of misery. Does your majesty have any further instructions? Among the commanders at Beijing's gates, are there any you know well? Your majesty, I was recently appointed by the Grand Secretariat. I am merely an official. My relationship with them is ordinary. But upon my return, I intend to use heavy bribes. Perhaps I can buy off one or two commanders. You may return. Thank you, Your Majesty. What a night raid. Your Majesty, it is a sudden night attack. The wind is high and the night is dark. We cannot see their numbers. To ensure Your Majesty's safety, please follow me to regroup with the main force. You were indeed deceiving me, using peace talks as a cover for a sneak attack. Your Majesty, I did no such thing. This is surely his treacherous scheme. He wants to use Your Majesty's hand to kill me. Your Majesty, just kill him already. This man has long lost his credibility. Keeping him is useless. He is nothing but a waste of rations. General Liu, wait a moment. I feel something is amiss. Your Majesty, urgent report. Under the cover of the night raid, someone set fire to General Liu Fanglang's grain supplies. The weather is dry. The wind is fanning the fierce flames. General Liu requests Your Majesty to send troops to help extinguish the fire. What? Zhu Yujian, I swear I will end you. Rally the troops, storm the city. Move out. Soldiers, the great Ming has stood for 300 years. The emperor guards the nation's gate. The sovereign dies for the state. Today, I shall fulfill that oath. Soldiers, the great Ming has stood for 300 years. The sovereign dies for the state. Today, I shall fulfill that oath. The rebel bandits are surrounding the city. Are you all afraid? No, we are not afraid. May our sun and moon endure forever. Long live the great Ming dynasty. Kill. Arg. Fire the thunder cannons. Your Majesty, it is too dangerous here. Please descend from the wall at once. Your Majesty, we cannot stay here for long. I beg Your Majesty to move back into the city. Move the cannons forward. Target those eunuchs holding shields on the tower, and blow them to smithereens. Move to the west gate. Reserve squad, throw the heaven-shattering mines first, then follow up with the fire bombs. Our soldiers are mighty. Surrender and you shall be spared. Officials will retain their ranks. We have plenty of grain. No military pay is owed. Long live the emperor. Surrender and be pardoned. Soldiers will be paid in full. Arg. in this northern expedition. The other generals of the Ming court have been invincible, victorious in every battle. Only you, Zhao Dene, out of greed for glory, rushed blindly into a long-distance raid. Not only did you fail to capture the Ming crown prince, but you also lost over 2,000 men for nothing. Then you marched so slowly that you failed to intercept Tang Tong's unit outside the walls of Beijing. You let them slip right into the city. Furthermore, the morale our great army worked so hard to build was completely incinerated by that fire. We could have besieged the city tomorrow. Now that morale is gone, how can we fight? Your servant knows he has failed. I beg General Liu Zongmin for punishment. Let us set aside the matter of guilt for a moment. Do you all believe we should attack the city tomorrow? Your Majesty, I have 3 reasons to wait. First, our army has been campaigning for too long. We should use this rest to rebuild our morale. Third, we can take this chance to gather provisions. Only when the grain is sufficient will the army's heart be steady. What about the rest of you, generals? Mr. Li, what is your view? Your servant believes we must strike fast and end it quickly. According to our scouts' reports, the Guanning army has already reached Shanhai Pass. No matter how slow they are, they will reach the walls of Beijing within 7 days. If we do not attack now, once the emperor's reinforcements arrive, where will our army stand then? I am but a humble man, but I have a question for the Grand Assistant. The enemy has cleared the countryside for 50 miles. Pray tell, where exactly will you find these provisions? General Liu has made mistakes, but he also has merits. We are in dire need of men right now. Why not let General Liu redeem himself through service? Let the other units share some grain with him. We attack the city at dawn tomorrow. By your command. Notify all civil and military officials immediately. They are to accompany me on this personal expedition. It is dangerous upon the city tower. Your Majesty must be extremely careful. Rest assured. I possess the body of the Son of Heaven. They cannot harm me. It is you who must take care of your health. After this battle, I want all the people of the capital to witness the might of my elite troops. Your Majesty can rest easy. It is the Emperor. The Emperor is leading the charge in person. Not just the Emperor. The civil and military officials shall follow our lead. Long live the Emperor. Our mighty force shall prevail. During the siege, over 4,000 laborers have been killed or wounded due to insufficient preparations. The assault has been unsuccessful, and our losses are severe. General Fang Liang, this matter is not entirely your fault. The fire weapons atop the Green Wolf are fierce and lethal. No one would have found it an easy task. General Fang Liang, do not blame yourself. Victory and defeat are but routine in war. In tomorrow's siege, we shall surely redeem our honor. Mr. Li, I hope you are feeling well. Before arriving, I already heard from the soldiers about the situation on today's battlefield. From this failed assault, firstly, we witnessed the power of the Ming army's new firearms, which allows us to prepare better for tomorrow. Secondly, it gave me an idea for a psychological strike. A psychological strike, yes. Since the Ming army is playing mind games, we can beat them at their own game. Mr. Li, surely you do not mean you can make the Ming defenders surrender. Of course not, but the Ming army's tactics have inspired 2 strategies. Please do enlighten us. Tomorrow, before the main assault, arrange for 1,000 laborers to wear Ming armor and pretend to surrender to them. That will expose the Ming army's lies. If they are let inside, they can sow chaos from within. What about Wu Sangui? Wu Sangui commands 50,000 Guanning troops. They are the elite of the elite. Would he ever surrender? That is absolutely impossible. May I ask when the left assistant reached Shanhaiguan? He reached Shanhaiguan 5 days ago. It is barely 600 li from Beijing. What does that suggest? It suggests he is waiting in the wings. If Wu Sangui truly wanted to come, he would have arrived long ago. He is biding his time, waiting to see who will emerge victorious in this war for the Ming dynasty's survival. Your Majesty, the urgent priority is to seize Beijing. As for persuading Wu Sangui to surrender, that requires a long-term plan. Regarding tomorrow's siege, does anyone have a brilliant plan? For tomorrow's assault, we should use the collapsing method again, or have the laborers carry wet cotton quilts to shield themselves while they dismantle the wall. Once the quilts are soaked, they won't catch fire, and can withstand their firearms. I was thinking the same thing. You have just taken the words right out of my mouth. Military advisor, Your Majesty. Your servant believes this plan is feasible. Good. Xiao, to guard against Wu Sangui. Take your troops and station them near Tongzhou. Fang Liang, tomorrow arrange for 1,000 laborers to feign surrender. Then, lead all the soldiers under your command to attack Zibianmen and Guang'anmen. Lu Zongmen, you take 30,000 laborers and 20,000 tribesmen to strike at Fuqingmen and Shijianmen. The remaining generals will surround the city and support the siege. There must be no mistakes, as you command. Since our northern expedition began, our army has been invincible. We have never known defeat. Now that we have finally surrounded Beijing, you must fight even more courageously. The slightest carelessness could cost us everything. There is a risk that our entire army will be annihilated. Only by capturing Beijing as soon as possible can we establish a foothold in the Central Plains. Only then can we win the people's hearts and follow heaven's will to achieve our imperial hegemony. This battle must be won swiftly. I obey your command, Your Majesty. Extra, extra, read all about it. Breaking news. Yesterday, the rebels attacked the city, but our army secured a total victory, at the cost of only 700 casualties. We have killed and wounded 7,000 rebels. His Majesty shall build a shrine of martyrs by the Temple of Heaven, to engrave the names of every fallen soldier within, for all citizens to pay their respects. Child, has the price of the paper gone up? No, it is free of charge. How old are you, kid? Are you trying to pull one over on me? Come on, tell me the price. It truly costs nothing. The emperor said. Many lives were lost defending the city yesterday. Many died on the walls last night. They are all heroes of the Great Ming. The emperor also said, one can take money from anyone, but one must never profit from our heroes. The rebels besieged the city, striking at the capital. The Ming defenders feared neither life nor death, fighting bravely to slay the enemy. Yet the fallen can no longer speak. To the 259 warriors who rest here forever. These men were the sons of parents, the husbands of wives, and above all, subjects of the Great Ming, the heroes of our capital. Zheng Sanming, Li Erguo, Zhao Guju, the valor of Guanfei. The rebels rob us of our gold and grain. They burn our homes, and trample upon our right to live. Our heroes now sleep eternally here, besides giving them a proper burial. What more can we do? Slay the rebels to protect our homes, defend our families and the nation. Slay the rebels, defend the nation. Last night, the Ming army launched a night raid. They ambushed our patrolling soldiers. In the skirmish, the Ming army lost only 3 men, while our casualties exceeded 100. This is utter madness. I specifically gave orders last night for you to organize the patrols. How did you manage to fail so miserably? Reporting to Your Majesty, last night, I specifically deployed 4,000 men for patrol. They were divided into several squads, patrolling back and forth within the city. But who would have thought? The enemy was targeting the patrol squads specifically. They carried oversized firecrackers, tossing them at everyone they saw. Our patrolling soldiers were caught completely off guard, which is why the casualties were so heavy. I was the one who promoted you, but do not mistake my trust for a license to lose battle after battle. Therefore, regarding all operations today, General Lu Zongmen will be in charge. All troops, hear my command. Assemble immediately. Prepare to storm the city. Blast it all. Check what those damn rebels are up to now. Your servant does not understand. They are not carrying any weapons. It looks as if they have come to surrender, yet they have not raised a white flag. There is something sinister about this. Use the white stone pellets. Give them a hell of a thrashing. These bastards, did you all hear me? Fire on my command. Give them hell. Hold your fire. We are here to surrender. Your Majesty, since you already predicted yesterday that the rebels would feign surrender, why did you not accept it? It was merely a trap. These men are not common folk. They are spies. But Your Majesty, even if their surrender was not genuine, when others witness their fate, I fear no one will dare to surrender again. Wrong. Utterly and completely wrong. When things reach an extreme, they can only reverse. The rebel Li Zicheng has begun his downfall. Taiyuan is but a small matter. The sun, moon, mountains, and rivers shall endure. The great Ming Empire shall endure. Kill, the sun, moon, mountains, and rivers shall endure. The great Ming Empire shall endure. Pour the oil. The siege ladders shattered, inch by inch. Shards of steel, mingled with severed limbs, transformed into a sky-wide rain of blood, and poured down. Kill any who flee. We are doomed. We will take them down with us. Arg. Push the ladders down. No need to push. The oil is here. Victory, the rebels are retreating. General Liu is mighty. A memorial, submitted by the Western City Commandery. I present it for your Majesty's review. The Western City Commandery. The first matter concerns a suspected rebel spy den within the city. Since most of the Western City Commandery's men have been assigned to defend the walls, they request an imperial decree to dispatch troops to surround and eliminate it. The second matter, they found several arrows within the city, shot from the outside. A white cloth is tied to the arrows. Written on the cloth is a plan to lead troops to raid the rebel camp, and then enter the city through Chaoyang Gate. They request your Majesty to dispatch men to receive them. Your Majesty, after verification by the Ministry of War, the handwriting on the cloth is indeed that of Grand Coordinator Liu Wenyao. The seal is also the Grand Coordinator's official seal. It is not a forgery. Based on what we have now, it is impossible to determine its authenticity. We must judge based on physical evidence. It is a fake. Grand Secretary Li, do not bother examining it. I did not judge its authenticity by the handwriting or the seal. I beg your Majesty to enlighten me. Before he left the capital, I gave him instructions. If he successfully eliminated Liu Ziqing and incorporated his troops under his command, when he leads his army to relieve the capital, to prevent anyone from impersonating him or feigning surrender, any correspondence must use a specific cipher. The character for place D should be replaced with the character for eternal Yang. If the messenger were truly from him, then this white cloth would be stamped with that cipher, not the Grand Coordinator's official seal. Your Majesty's brilliance is unparalleled. I am truly humbled. These are extraordinary times. Your Majesty, we now have spies within the city, and rebels outside impersonating our army. It seems they plan to coordinate an attack from both inside and out tonight. To open the city gates, we must be on our guard. Ha ha ha, Grand Secretary Li is correct. We must indeed be prepared. Since the rebels have started using their brains, I shall make them pay the price for it. The ones defending the city are the spies from within. You need not concern yourselves with this. I shall dispatch the Eastern Depot to assist. The Minister of War heeds the imperial decree. Take this red-sealed document to the West City Military Office. Coordinate with the offices of the other 4 sectors. Immediately arrest the rebel spies within the city. Remember, leave a few alive. Interrogate them to uncover their true motives. Understood. This place is actually a merchant's shop. Commander Wang, are you certain about this? Is this truly where the rebel spies are hiding? Lord Supervisor, there is no mistake, this is the place. The credit and the silver will be split 30-70. Commander Wang, do you have any issue with that? Many thanks, Lord Supervisor. I am deeply grateful, Lord Supervisor. If both of our strategies are seen through, a rash night raid will result in catastrophic losses. I wonder if Mr. Li considered this when he proposed the plan. Haha, Assistant Niu, you worry too much. Success would be ideal, but even if we fail, those who perish are merely common laborers. It will have no impact on our main army. Lord Commander, you cannot treat their lives as a mere game. Once word of this spreads, our army will lose the hearts of the people. Fang Liang, what has gotten into you lately? It is one thing to fail a military order, but now you dare to speak words that demoralize the troops. Do you think these commoners in the army are truly people? They are absolutely not. To put it politely, they are refugees. To put it bluntly, they are nothing but bandits. So if they die, they die. Besides, a general's success is built upon 10,000 rotting bones. To die on the path of our Dishan army's conquest is their ultimate honor. Zhongmen, arrange the night raid at once. Whether we succeed or not is up to the will of heaven. Tongzhou. All is up to heaven. Enter Tongzhou. Tongzhou. Notify Lu Shi. Greet them at Tongzhou. Tongzhou. Have him closely monitor the main army's movements. Tongzhou. Take the initiative to strike if necessary. Tongzhou. Repel them. Meet at Tongzhou. Repel them all. Niu Jin, I leave the negotiations to you. Fang Liang, take 2,000 troops and 3,000 laborers to gather provisions. I hope you do not fail my expectations this time. Mr. Li has stated that our army must prepare for 3 scenarios. First, if Wu Sungui refuses to surrender and insists on protecting the emperor, then we must strike fast and end the battle quickly. If we cannot take Beijing within 3 days, we must prepare to retreat. The second scenario, while besieging the city. We must annihilate any other loyalist reinforcement armies. The third scenario goes without saying. If Wusangui surrenders, our army will unify the Central Plains. We shall replace the Ming dynasty. You shall all be granted high ranks and titles, achieving a legacy that lasts forever. We obey your command. Your Majesty, during the recent siege, our army suffered over 12,000 casualties. Among them, 8,000 were laborers, and 4,000 were soldiers. Additionally, some cavalry were hit by Ming artillery, but casualties there were light. Only about 10 men were lost. How many casualties did the Ming army suffer? Approximately 1,500 men. Our army's provisions will only last for half a month. To keep the army's morale stable, I suggest forming 4 grain collection teams to gather military provisions. According to the scouts' reports, Wusangui is leading 15,000 troops out of Tianjin, heading toward Beijing, and 20,000 government troops have reached the Lufeng area, about 400 li from Beijing. It will only take 3 days to reach the walls of Beijing. Your Majesty, during today's siege, the message was sent into the city as planned. I wonder if Your Majesty intends to launch a night raid. The night raid was proposed by Mr. Li to the Emperor long before the northern expedition. Something is happening to the southeast. Go and notify them at once. Governor Liu, open the gates quickly. We are the subordinates of the former Shandong general. We are now under the command of the left commander-in-chief. Tonight, Governor Liu leads 10,000 troops to defend the capital. Open the gates immediately. Let us in. Who goes there? Take one more step forward, and do not blame us for being merciless. I am Zuo Zongdu of the Right Military Command. Since the left commander-in-chief has come in person, let him come to the wall to meet me himself. Uncle, your nephew is here. Open the gates quickly. If the rebels react, we are doomed. Enter the city quickly. I will have the portcullis raised. Wait, uncle. These men are Shandong soldiers. I will enter after they have cleared the gate. No. Fire, hit them hard. Kill them all. This bloodthirsty phantom, between heaven and earth, silent and invisible. It worked. Success, kill them. For every one killed, a reward of 10 taels of silver. Kill 3 and you will be promoted 2 ranks. Charge, the top honor shall be mine. Run, it is a trap. We have fallen into a Ming ambush. Your Majesty looks displeased. I wonder what weighs on Your Majesty's mind. I am considering whether to move the capital. I dare to assert that with these ironclad walls and our resolve, holding for 10 days or a fortnight is no problem. Once the main loyalist army closes the pincer, the rebels will collapse on their own. I fear Your Majesty's concern is not the rebels. Not the rebels. Your Majesty is referring to the Jianzhou Jurchens. If the rebels fail to take Beijing, where will they go? I believe they would head toward Xuanfu, to be more cautious, perhaps toward the eastern marches, or they might break through Datong to threaten the capital's flank. This is precisely my concern. The later Jin have already mastered artillery. Fortified walls alone cannot stop them. Your Majesty, Shanghai Pass is 600 li from the capital. Your Majesty, Shanghai Pass is the gateway. Wusangui's Guanning Iron Cavalry at Shanghai Pass will surely be able to protect the throne. Shanghai Pass, the King's Shield. Shanghai Pass is our ultimate defense. They will surely protect the Emperor. Minister Li, why has Wusangui not arrived yet? Is it because the horses are exhausted, or were they obstructed on the way? I do not place my hopes on them. However, if the rebels retreat, what path should I and the capital take? The matter of relocating the capital requires more thorough deliberation. However, if your servant retreats to guard the pass and stays there peacefully, while the Jianzhou Jurchens take a detour, it is better to strengthen our own foundations. To forge iron, one must be strong oneself. If all officials, civil and military, are of one mind, what wind or rain should we fear? Instead of pinning hopes on the enemy's lapses, it is better to toughen our own resolve. As the saying goes, God helps those who help themselves. I am pleased to hear such words from Minister Li. I am deeply comforted. If all subjects are united, we shall fear no storm. The second matter, I intend to establish a new land office, effective immediately. Your Majesty, This involves the imperial family. Your servants must decline this command. The rebels are currently running rampant. If the vassal kings do not pay their taxes, I shall immediately withdraw the garrison. Once the rebels have wiped them out, I will then reclaim the land. They will not own an inch of this empire anymore. The land office will specifically manage the vassal king's land taxes. The Jinyue and Dongchong shall supervise this together. With land comes money, people, and power. The crisis of the land is not a natural disaster. It is a man-made catastrophe. I want the Ming dynasty's territory to be restored to its rightful state. Wang Chengen, have Pang Zijin of the Brave Guard camp bring 200 soldiers to see me. And instruct the armory depot to find 100 sets of concealed and padded armor for my use. Pang Zijin greets your majesty. At ease. You may rise. Thank you, your majesty. I wonder why your majesty requires so many sets of armor. Last night's success with the Jinyue in eliminating rebel spies was commendable. Each man shall be rewarded 10 taels of silver. Our deep gratitude to your majesty. Go and layer the concealed armor and padded armor together. Place them on that wooden stake over there. Then layer 2 sets of concealed armor together and place them on another stake. Bring the bow and armor-piercing arrows. Your Majesty, go and see how many layers were pierced. The inner concealed armor is intact. On the right, both layers of concealed armor are unharmed. Your Majesty, it is not that the attack was weak, but that the armor is exceptionally thick. What do you think? I have fought in the Northwest Frontier Army. I know that the Jurchen cavalry of Liaodong use the same tactics. They use longbows for sniping, firing only when they are close. They do not aim for the armor, but for the face. We privately call this method the point-blank arrow, because I heard that the enemy archers only leave their eyes exposed. Go check again. How many layers were pierced? Reporting to your majesty, 1 layer of the double armor on the right was pierced. The other layer remained unbroken. I see. Switch. Use the repeating crossbow to fire at the palace gate. Aim for the opening ahead. Move the armored stakes to the front of the opening. Your majesty, the concealed and padded armor on the left were pierced. As for the 2 layers on the right, though pierced, the marks left on the wood are very shallow. Which unit of the 8 banners impressed you the most? The third. Wait. All of you, come forward and sit. Listen together. General Pang, continue. Yes, your majesty. If the 8 banners are a cavalry archery force, similar to the Mongol cavalry, they are absolutely no match for our great Ming's border armies. Moreover, the Jianzhou Jurchens are not, in the strictest sense, a nomadic tribe. Your Majesty, I myself come from the cavalry. Mounted archery lacks the stability of foot archery. Its accuracy is low. Our army's cotton and concealed armor offers excellent protection against arrows. Therefore, cavalry often resorts to close-quarters combat. If they only had cavalry, our army could simply rain arrows upon their horses. The enemy would retreat on their own. However, the 8 banners are actually comprised of more than 4 different types of troops. The Mongols focus on cavalry, while the Manchus and Solon people, their variety of troop types surpasses our own. Among them, the most difficult to deal with are the heavy infantry. Why is that? The Jianzhou Jurchen's vanguard wears double or even triple layered armor. After riding close, they dismount and form ranks. Arrows can hardly penetrate them. Firearms can barely harm them. Only heavy cannons can be effective. But once our artillery is exposed, they will dispatch their cavalry for a swift flanking attack. Our artillerymen are unarmored. They cannot reposition the cannons in time. They would be annihilated in an instant. Fight back, use the cannons to blast them. Alas! Eunuch Wang, their heavy cavalry has 3 horses per man. 1 wears cotton armor. Firearms are ineffective. Cannons are difficult to redeploy. Imagine mountains and fields swarming with their heavy cavalry, pressing down on our borders. And our artillery gets ambushed by their cavalry instead. This is a truly desperate situation. The heavy cavalry of the 8 banners and they are more terrifying than any cannon. A violent tremor from 100 miles away. O. In. WL, ML, L. E. The Yuan army has arrived. All men, long-range attack, longswords. Release the signal kites. A good kill. May our sun, moon, mountains, and rivers endure forever. May the great Ming dynasty endure forever. Use your heads and fight. Take up your weapons. Charge. Your Majesty, we must leave quickly. It is dangerous here. Have the reinforcements from the other city gates arrive. Your Majesty, they are on their way here now. Adjutant Peng, it is your turn. Yangwei Battalion, here. A true man should live with great ambition, and die wrapped in a horse's hide on the battlefield. Charge with me. Your Majesty, Dishing Gate has been breached. A force of over 1,000 men has charged out from within. Half of them are cavalry. Are they surrendered Ming soldiers? It does not seem so. When your servant came to report, they were forming up and heading towards Chaoshi Jinmen Gate. General Liu, dispatch 2,000 cavalry. Let these Ming soldiers see what true elite troops look like. Your Majesty, the Yangwei Battalion is your personal army. They should remain within the city walls to protect the imperial city and your Majesty's safety, unless it is absolutely necessary. They cannot be sent out of the city to fight against Liu Zongmin. Your Majesty, as per your command. For this sortie, all men will wear lamellar armor. 500 infantrymen will beat the drums for you atop the west side gate. We will await your triumphant return. This general receives your command. Departing now. Form ranks. Form ranks. Our cavalry has arrived. What is happening? Fight them to the death. Everyone, charge. Form ranks. Where the hell did this lot come from? Why are they so damn hard to deal with? Your Majesty, these are the ones I mentioned before. The Liaodong Jianzhou Heavy Infantry. What kind of unit is this? The Liaodong Jianzhou Heavy Infantry is like this. They act as a wedge to tear open a gap. Once the gap is opened, the main Jianzhou army will charge through, completely crushing our resistance. Does Jianzhou have many heavy infantry? 100,000 Jianzhou troops. If there is enough armor, the heavy infantry will be even more. Charge. Kill the Jinyue Guard. Kill them all. But Your Majesty. Order the charge into the enemy formation. As you command. By order of the Emperor, charge the heavy infantry phalanx. They are retreating. Your Majesty, I request permission to send men to bury the fallen of the Jinyue Guard. Go, but beware of enemy ambushes. To all the brave warriors of the Jinyue Guard, in resisting the rebels, your sacrifice is your glory. From this day forward, as long as the Ming dynasty stands, your families shall be my family, your parents, wives, and children shall be my own. Your names shall be carved into the shrine of martyrs, to be revered by all people for eternity. Long live the Emperor! Long live the Emperor. Fan Jingwen, you are responsible for coordinating the rotation. Have the remaining veterans repair the breach. The army must regroup. Understood. Your Majesty, last night several arrows were shot over the east gate. There were messages tied to them. What is written in the messages? Governor of Jilao, Wang Yangxin, leads 5,000 Guanning troops, acting on imperial orders to save the throne. They are expected to reach the capital's outskirts by tomorrow morning. Liaodong General Wu Sangui leads 10,000 Guanning troops to save the throne. They have currently reached the Yu County area. They are expected to arrive in the capital in 3 days. Thank goodness. Though Wu Sangui and Wang Yangji were slow to move, they have finally arrived. Indeed, the capital has been besieged for 5 days. They are the second great army to come to our rescue. I understand. When the time comes, let them enter the city directly. The Ministry of War will be responsible for verifying their identities. Yes, sire. Your Majesty, according to the rules of the court, armies coming to the rescue are not permitted to enter the city. I suggest they set up camp outside the walls to engage the rebels in open field combat. Rules: the crystal is about to be stolen by the enemy, and you are still talking about goddamn rules. When I let Tang Tong enter the city, I had already broken the rules. What harm is there in breaking them once more? I obey your decree. Elder Li, do you think now that the Guanning army is here, the rebels will retreat? Speak up. I believe the rebels will retreat to defend Xuanfu. Xuanfu is a key stronghold of our 9 frontiers. From there, they can advance toward the capital, or retreat to hold their ground. Datong is a strategic location where one can both attack and defend. Juyong Pass may be easy to defend and hard to breach, Minister Li, but it is far too close to the capital. The rebels will not linger there for long. Therefore, I believe if the rebels retreat, they will fall back to defend Xuanfu. The situation is indeed as you described. It is within expectations. There will be no surprises. Of course, we cannot rule out a retreat to Datong either. Minister Li, do you know what I truly wish to ask? I do, Your Majesty. You wish to ask how the capital's defense lines should be deployed after the rebels retreat. Haha, precisely. What I am considering is the post-rebel era. How Beijing's defense lines should be arranged then. The crux of defending the capital lies in Jizhou town. Jizhou is only 300 li from the capital. It can support Juyong Pass and even Xuanfu. In the second year of Changjun, it was because Jizhou's defenses were lax, and its manpower insufficient, that the Jurchens were able to use traders as guides to invade the central plains. Your servant believes that by stationing heavy troops in Jizhou, we can not only deter the Jianzhou Jurchens, but also safeguard the capital. It is just that. Does Minister Li lack faith in me, or lack faith in the Ming dynasty? Speak your mind plainly. It is just that the Guanning troops are too few. If they guard Shanhai Pass, they cannot guard Jizhou. I will use the Guanning Iron Cavalry to guard Shanhai Pass, but I will not use them for Jizhou. Could it be that Your Majesty does not trust them? Minister Li, if I task you with training an army, how long until new recruits possess the strength to fight? To answer Your Majesty, your servant needs at least half a year to make them battle-ready. Good. Draft the edict immediately. Once the rebels have retreated, dispatch it at once. Order General Gao Di of Shanhai Pass to lead 10,000 men to garrison Jizhou town. The Ministry of War shall recruit 30,000 new soldiers to Jizhou for training and combat readiness. Governor Wang, have you brought the roster for the 6,000 Guanning troops? I have brought it. The 6,014 men under the governor of Jilao are owed back pay, combined with the 5 taels of city defense silver issued by the emperor. The total comes to 138,322 taels. Is that correct? Oh, that is not quite right. Over 400 men died in battle on the way here. What is the exact number? 409 men. Your Majesty decreed that for every man killed in action, 50 taels of compensation shall be paid. For every rank higher, an additional 2 taels. Let Governor Wang take charge of their compensation silver. The grand total is 158,772 taels of silver. Governor Wang, please proceed to the Ministry of War to collect the silver. The emperor is as decisive as they come, and as pragmatic as iron. Even the ferocity in the eyes of the city's defenders surpasses that of the elite frontier troops. The winds of change are blowing through the Ming dynasty. Your Majesty, Lu Zongmin's 20,000 elite troops are stationed in the Tongzhou area. After engaging Lu Wenyao, they lost only a few hundred men. However, our other units suffered heavy losses. How many laborers and civilians remain in the camp? To answer Your Majesty, The laborers and civilians total about 30,000. Before the siege, there were at least 70,000 of them. How did we lose so many? Your Majesty, 30,000 were lost during the consecutive days of the siege, and another 10,000 civilians fled. They are mere peasants. Even if they were all wiped out, it is no great loss. But we have failed to take the city for a long time, and desertion is contagious. This is not a good sign. Your Majesty, I propose we recall all of General Liu Xiao's forces to deal with the Guanning Iron Cavalry. Mr. Li, I do not believe that is necessary. Wang Yangji only has 6,000 troops. Our army is 100,000 strong. I believe there is no need to worry. Nay, you are mistaken. If our forces are mobilized, if those 100,000 defenders engage in a decisive battle, our army might not be their match. Mr. Li, what is the meaning of this? In this battle, even with 100,000 laborers and Wang Yangji's men, though I command a grand army of 1,000,000, they only have 20,000. They are not to be feared. If they dare to engage in open warfare, our army will seize the momentum and storm the city. Nay, that is not so. Although the Ming court can only mobilize 40 or 50,000 men, if they stake everything on this one campaign and face us in a final showdown, our army might not necessarily prevail. Mr. Li, why do you say such things? Your Majesty, our army currently has 60,000 elite troops. 20,000 of them are stationed at Tongzhou. If the remaining 40,000 strike us from the east, our forces will fall into utter chaos. At that point, we will crumble like a mountain in a landslide. Even an army of 1,000,000 would be for naught. Mr. Li, your words are wide of the mark. Although our spies within the city have been eliminated, according to previous intelligence, the capable men available to the Ming court are few and far between. The three great camps are composed of nothing but the old, the weak, and the infirm. They might manage to defend a wall, but open field combat, forget it. The Jinyue, Eastern Depot, Five Cities Defense, and Yangwei Camp, combined, they barely exceed 10,000 men, including Tang Tong's forces. Those capable of field combat are at most 20,000. They are truly not to be feared. If they dare to step out for a field battle, it would be the perfect chance for us to crush them and enter the city. I believe Vice General Liu speaks the truth. I ask your Majesty to deploy a division. Your servant is willing to lead the charge. Your Majesty, your generals are simply debating the facts of the matter. Your Majesty, your servant is not angry. I truly wish to focus on preparing the grain and fodder. Then I shall grant you 3,000 troops to manage the supplies. How about that? My deepest thanks, Your Majesty. Your Majesty, Mr. Li's grasp of the battlefield situation is clearly not what it used to be. Indeed, Li Yan is, after all, a strategist of the Dishan. Even if he is struggling now, his past merits were substantial. Let us continue the discussion tomorrow. You shall lead 30,000 infantry and 20,000 laborers. Battle begins tomorrow. By your command, Zhang Da, you shall lead your own units. Act as the general reserve for the entire army. Be ready to provide support at a moment's notice. This general obeys your order. This battle will determine our life or death. If we prevail, you shall be immortalized in history alongside me. But if we fall, I shall share the same fate as this city of Beijing. The city falls, and we perish with it. I ask you all to remember. Behind you stands your emperor, stands the great Ming, the hearths of 10,000 families, and every living soul under heaven. This battle must be won. Raise the banners, suppress the rebels. The sacred fire, thunder. I do not want to bite the dust yet. Someone please help me. I can't take another step. General. The Ming troops have exited the city. It is the Guanning army, led by the generals. Xie Junshou, take 10,000 cavalry and meet them head-on. As you command, General. Wait. Something's not right. When they entered the city yesterday, there were only a little over 6,000 men. Now their numbers have likely surpassed 10,000. General Yuan, what is your strategy? I ask all generals to relay my orders. Order General Ma Xiyao to form a battle line with my forces. Hold your positions and defend the camp. There shall be no mistakes. Using cavalry to charge our lines. The Shun army's commander must have lost his mind. Ha ha ha. The advantage of cavalry lies in its mobility. Kiting, guerrilla tactics, pursuit and charging. That is a job for the infantry. Fire the cannons. Damn it. Hear my command. With me. Slay the enemy and serve the dynasty. The banner of Wu. Wu Sangui, wasn't he supposed to arrive in 3 days? Wu Sangwee's incredible feat of infiltrating under the cover of night. Form ranks, repel the enemy. Quick, Request reinforcements from His Majesty. Report to His Majesty, we need reinforcements. Reinforcements, we need reinforcements. Yes, Your Majesty, General. The general and the young soldiers have joined the battle. The enemy forces are too numerous. His men can't hold them back. What damn nonsense is this? He must hold. Our finest elite troops are under his command. Tell him to use any means necessary to withstand the enemy's assault. The siege ladders shattered, inch by inch. Shards of steel mixed with severed limbs and broken arms. It became a bloody rain, pouring down upon the fleeing. Kill without mercy. It is over. It is all over. Inform His Majesty at once. My division has been defeated. Advise His Majesty to retreat 20 li. We must temporarily avoid the Guan Ning Iron Cavalry's spearhead. Rally the defeated troops. It is over. It is all over. Inform His Majesty at once. My division has been defeated. Advise His Majesty to retreat 20 li. We must temporarily avoid the Guan Ning Iron Cavalry's spearhead. Rally the defeated troops. Relay my orders to all generals. Retreat immediately. Proceed to Juyong Pass. It is less than 100 li from the capital. From there, we can advance to attack or hold it to defend. As long as we can secure our footing, I will be able to make a comeback. We won. We won. The rebels are retreating. What damn nonsense is this? The rebels are not retreating. They were defeated. Deputy General Li is right. The rebels were defeated. They were defeated. The sun, moon, mountains, and rivers will endure forever. The realm of the great Ming will endure forever. Long live my emperor. Long live my emperor. Ha ha ha. Your Majesty, after their defeat yesterday, the rebels retreated to defend Juyong Pass. According to our scouts' reports, the main rebel army has already departed from Juyong Pass. They are retreating towards Xuanfu. What were the results of yesterday's battle? Yesterday, our army engaged the rebels in a decisive battle outside the city walls. In this battle, we killed a total of 29,297 enemy soldiers and captured 8,344. Our army suffered 2,709 casualties, with 1,251 severely wounded. This was a hard-won victory. The Ministry of War shall proceed with awarding merits and honors. But remember this. These merits were paid for with the lives of our soldiers. The funds must be delivered directly into the hands of every general. If I discover anyone has skimmed from the rewards, I will execute their entire clan, down to the 9th degree, as you command. Your Majesty, although the rebels have been defeated, it is merely a temporary setback for them. The court still faces a multitude of problems. This is my humble proposal. I beseech Your Majesty to review it. Grand Secretary Li, speak your mind freely. I will review this later. The rebels have just suffered a defeat, but we must prevent them from making a comeback. Furthermore, the entire Liaodong region has now fallen into the hands of the Jianzhou Jurchens. We cannot afford to be complacent. Therefore, what Grand Secretary Li means is, I propose a complete reorganization of the 3 great garrisons of the capital. During this period, we must widely recruit soldiers and intensify their training. This will replenish the combat strength of our garrisons. Your Majesty, I request to be relieved of my post as the superintendent of the capital garrisons. Your Majesty, the position of superintendent of the capital garrisons should by rights be held by a meritorious and noble military general. Now that the crisis in the capital has been averted, it is best to adhere to the established court protocols. What is the opinion of the Grand Secretariat? We are in unanimous agreement. A candidate should be chosen from among the meritorious nobles. The post of superintendent of the capital garrisons cannot remain vacant for long, now that all civil and military officials of the court are present. Who do you deem suitable for the role of superintendent of the capital garrisons? I recommend Left Censor-in-Chief Chu Miao for the position. The duties of a censor-in-chief are not to be taken lightly. The left censor must forge an elite force in the shortest possible time, one that possesses the capability to fight a decisive battle against the enemy's finest troops. I shall humbly obey Your Majesty's decree. Of the court's 9 border garrisons, 8 have already been lost. Only the Jizhou garrison remains defensible. The most urgent task is to deploy heavy troops to Jizhou to defend against both the rebels and the Jianzhou Jurchens. Let Li Shuken be transferred to the post of regional commander of Jizhou. Gao Qi will continue to serve as the regional commander of Shanhai Pass. His Majesty has issued a sacred decree, ordering all armies to stand down. They are to retain their original posts, but their garrisons are to be moved from Ningyuan, return by the same route they came, and continue to suppress the rebels. I wonder what concerns your Majesty might have. The Jianzhou Jurchens. Does your Majesty believe the Jurchens will invade and plunder in the near future? No, not in the near future. If my calculations are correct, the Jurchen invasion is still 2 months away. Grand Secretary Li, tell me, why do the Jurchens repeatedly invade? With the rebels running rampant, the Jurchens will inevitably fish in troubled waters. They probe our army's strengths and weaknesses, and seize opportunities to annihilate our effective forces. Grand Secretary Li is correct. To plunder people, grain and gold. What a perfect opportunity. If I were Fan Wencheng or Dorgan, I would definitely choose the autumn harvest season to breach the Great Wall and invade. Or perhaps they might imitate Li Zicheng and lay siege to Beijing. My lords, do you think it is possible to annihilate the rebels within 2 months? The army's round trip alone will take nearly 2 months. If we withdraw the relief armies now, what will we do when the Jianzhou Jurchens besiege the city? They are not the same as Li Zicheng's bandits. The Jianzhou Jurchens now have men. They have cannons. Can the walls of our capital withstand the Jurchens' Hongyi cannons? Therefore, I believe the most urgent matter is to pacify the rebels, or rather, to ally with one rebel faction to fight another. I wonder, with whom does your Majesty intend to ally against the Jianzhou Jurchens? Lu Haiyi, Guo Chenghui, Weishi Garden. Zhang Xianzhang employed a strategy of vertical and horizontal alliances. Let Zhang Xianzhang keep Li Zicheng in check, while our army confronts the Jianzhou Jurchens head-on. As long as we can defeat the Jurchens within the pass just once, they will not dare to invade and plunder again for at least 2 years. Your Majesty, even if Zhang Xianzhang is willing to accept pacification, he will not refrain from attacking Li Zicheng. In truth, he has but one objective: to use the opportunity to recuperate and seize the moment to rebel. If we allow this, it is tantamount to nursing a viper in our bosom. Therefore I set the condition that he must merely contain Li Zicheng, not necessarily destroy him. The Ming dynasty and I need time to regroup. Then let Brother Li rest and recover. Minister Li, there is no need for further concern. Immediately investigate the troops surrounding Chongqing. I understand, Your Majesty. General Liu Jian of Sichuan has 3,000 troops stationed in Shunqing. General Qin Liangyu has fewer than 10,000 men guarding Zhangzhou. If they strike upstream, they can cut off Zhang Xianzhang's retreat. Gentlemen, deliver this to the military commanders. Who is fit to be the Governor-General? Your servant believes Qin Liangyu is the most suitable. However, she is advanced in years. I fear she may not be up to the task. An old warhorse still has miles in him. Qin Liangyu can certainly shoulder this burden. The fate of the realm rests on this. Command the southern generals to hold their ground. Appoint her Governor-General of Sichuan, Huguang, Yunnan and Guizhou military affairs. She shall confront Zhang Xianzhang by your command. Where is Yuan Jishen now? Your Majesty, Yuan Jishen is guarding Zhujiang. He oversees Yangshi, Huguang, Anqing, and the Yingtian Mansion region. He has approximately 20,000 troops under his command. Order Yuan Jishen to move from Zhujiang upstream to Wuchang. He is to borrow 50,000 men from Zuo Liangyu to pursue Zhang Xianzhang. Your Majesty, what if Zuo Liangyu refuses to lend them? Then let Yuan Jishen take the heads of Zuo Liangyu and his son. Your Majesty, Zuo Liangyu commands 150,000 men. If they mutiny, Minister Li, you must know, Zuo Liangyu wears the mantle of the imperial army, but acts like a common bandit. He should have been executed long ago. I used to be overly cautious, but being soft-hearted now is useless. If he is not removed today, he will become a terminal cancer in the future. Enumerate Zuo Liangyu's crimes immediately. Send the decree by express courier tonight. Once the Zuo father and son are executed, the officers, and the Tiger Battalion, I do not believe they would dare rebel against the state nation, with Zhang Xianzhang in front, and Zhujiang, Nanchang, Anqing, Raozhou, Weizhou, and Yuezhou behind. These 6 prefectures will form a pincer movement, with Qin Liangyu's 50,000 elite troops and sufficient grain supplies. It will be enough to pin him down. If Zhang Xianzhang is not dealt with decisively, we will suffer for it. Minister Li, draft the edict. How shall we fund the Sichuan army? Although the capital's treasury has funds, the chaos of war makes logistics difficult. These funds cannot be delivered to Sichuan in time. If the silver and grain are sufficient, we can still hold our own against Zhang Xianzhang. Without money, I fear one cannot make bricks without straw. For the funds of this great war, let the Prince of Shu from the imperial clan provide them. I will personally write a promissory note, borrowing 3 million taels of silver from the Prince of Shu. The loan term is 2 years. What do you think of repayment upon maturity? Your servant believes writing a note is fine. The fear is that the Prince of Shu will cry poverty despite his riches. Then let the Jinyue and Dongchong investigate. Once discovered, he shall be charged with deceiving the emperor. Confiscate his entire estate first, then escort him to the capital. Your Majesty, the Prince of Shu is a member of the imperial family. If we are to prosecute him, we need irrefutable, public evidence. Otherwise, I fear it will not silence the critics. I believe this is inappropriate, Your Majesty. Your Majesty. The Prince of Shu is a member of the imperial clan. The Grand Secretariat should not intervene. Why did the great ancestor infect the princes back then? It was precisely to prepare for a day like today. I have 3 methods in mind. Ponder them carefully, and see which is most fitting. Your Majesty, this is unseemly. Then we must play hardball. Hey, Minister Li, issue 2 imperial edicts to Qin Liangyu. The first appoints her as Governor-General of Sichuan, Yunnan, and Guizhou, commanding the troops of all 4 provinces. This move will catch everyone off guard. Wait for me to send a verbal message. Li Zicheng's forces are advancing like a tidal wave. Chongqing is lost, and Chengdu is indefensible. If you were the Prince of Shu, and troops were sent to escort you to Yunnan, to seek temporary refuge, though it is merely a verbal message, coming from the general's men, to leave Chengdu, and head for Yunnan. Ha ha ha. Exactly. Once the Prince of Shu has packed his wealth and treasures, the moment his front foot leaves Chengdu, Qin Liangyu will follow up and seize him by imperial decree. On what grounds would she seize the prince? The ancestral laws. The great ancestor decreed, a prince of the realm must never leave his fief without permission. Otherwise, his title is stripped and his lineage expunged. He shall be reduced to a commoner. But it was your Majesty who told the prince to flee for safety. HMPH. I sent a verbal message. The messenger is already dead. Who can prove those words came from me? My message clearly told him to defend Chengdu to the death, and never to abandon his fief. Your Majesty is the supreme sovereign. Your word should be as solid as a bronze tripod. Minister Fang, you are quite mistaken. My word is solid only before my loyal ministers. When dealing with those shameless parasites, one must use their own medicine against them. The nation is in peril. Every man bears responsibility. As a prince of our great Ming, he should shoulder his burden even more. If I ask the prince for funds, the very moment he refuses, I have every right to take him down. Our great Ming does not feed useless mouths. Now that I have given him a chance to live, he should be thanking me. It is settled. First, send a secret edict to Yuan Jishan, ordering him to plot the removal of Zuo Liangyu. Then, give those 2 edicts to Qin Liangyu. Tell her to demand silver and grain from the Prince of Shu. If the prince neither pays nor falls for the trap, Qin Liangyu can simply seize it by force. The blame for this will rest entirely on my shoulders. Desperate times call for desperate measures. As long as we stop Zhang Xianzhang, no matter the price we must pay, I can endure it. Wang Yangji has arrived. Wang Yangji, oh Wang Yangji, you have finally come. Too bad you missed the hot meal. Wu Sangui already snatched the best share. Now that the rebels have retreated to Xuanfu, even if you want to claim credit, there is nothing left to take. Is your Majesty planning a rebellion against yourself? Rest assured, Zijin, some things are better left unsaid. But with Li Zicheng besieging the city, the situation won't repeat itself in the short term. Your servant is ignorant. I do not know under what title the rewards should be granted, nor do I know the amount to be bestowed. On the 5th day of the 3rd month, I infect Zhang Yu as the Earl of Pingxi. According to the protocol, the rewards must be conferred. You shall proceed according to the regulations of the imperial court. Your servant obeys your command. Where is Wu Songui now? Reporting to your Majesty, 10,000 Guanning cavalrymen are stationed 10 miles east of the city. Is this what you meant by sending men to camp beneath the walls? They requested that the main army enter the city to rest. In half an hour, they merely requested the Ministry of War and Ministry of Revenue to provide some provisions. It is a matter of life and death, an urgent necessity. Furthermore, immediately notify the cabinet, the censorate, and the ministries of war and personnel. As you command. We shall proceed to the council to deliberate. Your servant takes his leave. Is the Earl of Pingxi prepared? Officer Wang, when His Majesty heard of my arrival this morning, was he pleased or displeased? Prices in the capital are skyrocketing. Officer Wang, please accept this. This is a small token of my appreciation. Earl of Pingxi, what is the meaning of this? I submitted my report from outside the hall, separated by the doors. His Majesty did not permit me to enter. Therefore I could not see His Majesty's expression. It is nothing, I only fear His Majesty might be displeased. Wu Sungui, the Earl of Pingxi, requests an audience outside the hall. Long live my Emperor. Long live, long live your Majesty. Your servant is late to the rescue. I beg your Majesty to punish me. Dispense with the formalities. You may rise. Your servant is terrified. I dare not. My word is an imperial decree. Rise. Your Majesty, I wish to impeach him. The Earl of Pingxi was clearly less than 1,000 miles from the capital. He departed from Ningyuan on the 6th day of the 3rd month, yet only arrived at the capital's gates on the 29th. Had he truly intended to save the throne, he could have reached the capital in 10 days at most. Instead, he took 23 days. He was merely preserving his own strength amidst the chaos, watching from the sidelines while others fight, waiting for a chance to profit. I second the motion. Such disregard for the sovereign should be met with severe punishment. Your Majesty, your servant is guilty. I admit my fault, but the guilt I speak of is not the guilt Minister Shi mentions. I beg your Majesty to hear my explanation. I am listening. I was entrusted by the Chancellor to organize the troops for an immediate rescue, but the Jurchen enemies were nearby, watching us like tigers eyeing their prey. Had I led the elite forces into the pass immediately, the remaining citizens would have faced total annihilation. Therefore, I had to escort thousands of civilians through the pass. I hope your Majesty understands. To save the throne, you first thought of surrendering. Afterwards, you only needed to send the infantry. They are all cavalry. A journey of days took much longer. The Lord Censor is unaware of the full reality. It is not that I arrived late, but one should know that no man is a bridge. The provisions simply could not keep up. With the supplies exhausted, we were forced to forage for food. Danger lurked in every corner. 6,000 cavalrymen charged out into the vastness to set forth, racing against time with all our might. We finally arrived at the capital this morning. Regardless of the reasons, your servant was late to the rescue. I beg your Majesty to punish me. It makes one's blood run cold. Earl of Pingxi, since you have confessed your guilt, then we shall proceed by the rules.